The protagonist lay sprawled on the ground, his eyes dazed as if he were high. Upon closer look, he saw a few wild-looking girls in cosplay. He thought they were just camping. A party this wild and unrestrained? How could he possibly miss out? Without hesitation, he dashed toward the bonfire. "Wait for me, babes, I'm coming." But suddenly, he lost control and faceplanted into the dirt. When he looked down at himself, he realized he was tied up. Then, a system interface popped up right in front of him. What the hell is this? Before he could make sense of anything, two big guys walked over. Am I still high or what? He wondered. Where did the hot girls go? Seeing the two big guys in front of him, the protagonist immediately switched to puppy dog mode. "Hey, bros, hello, where am I?" They said nothing, only raised their hands toward him. Wait a second, I think I remember something. 12 hours earlier, the protagonist had been at the beach. He remembered going out with a girl, then heading to a hotel, only getting back late at night. One nap later and he'd somehow ended up here. Did I offend the heavens or something by touring with rich sugar mommies to get an iPhone 17? As he was lost in thought, he heard some strange sounds behind him. Turning around, he saw people dressed very oddly. What the primitive cosplay fans? Then one of them suddenly raised a stance before he could react. Someone hurled a wooden spear straight at him. He froze as the spear flew right past his face. Then he bolted. You guys really take cosplay way too far. After running for a while, he turned back smugly. "Ha, you think you can catch me with all those weapons? Dream on." Just as he said that, another spear grazed his waist. Wait, what? They actually have weapons? They're playing for real? Suddenly, a system interface popped up in front of him. Survival mission. Stay alive. Still running, he muttered. Survival mission? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Don't tell me this is one of those legendary systems? Behind him, one of the primitive guys threw a sharpened bone at him, this time. He didn't dodge fast enough and got hit. Before long, he was captured and thrown into a corner. The system displayed, "You have survived for 12 hours. +1 attribute point." Seeing that, he brightened up. There's still hope for a comeback. The system then added the attribute point for him. That confirmed it. This really was a system. He'd probably been isekai'd to some other world. Next, the system presented a survival gift pack. Would you like to open it? Upon opening it, he gained * basic language proficiency. * universal map, marks all visited locations. * and a mountain-splitting axe. Note: once an item is taken out, it can't be stored back in the inventory. The system then followed with more prompts. Wilderness survival now auto-saving. Medical knowledge uploading. Back to the protagonist. He could now understand the speech of the primitive people. He realized this world was still in the prehistoric age. His mission here might be to become a god and guide them toward civilization. He imagined himself as a sharp-dressed CEO leading the primitives. And grinned. Wouldn't that make me a god already? He told the system. Allocate attribute point to strength. Equip mountain-splitting axe. Ding. Axe equipped. Ding. Strength +1. He then used the axe to cut the ropes. With one forceful pull, the rope snapped. He stood up and smiled, clenching his fist. Can't believe just 1 point in strength makes this much of a difference. The primitives turned around and looked at him. He stepped forward, axe in hand. Hello there. A masked man with white powder all over his face shouted. Catch him. Don't let him escape. Kill him and eat him. They charged at him, laughing scornfully. Kid, you're not running anywhere this time. The protagonist smirked. Hey. He raised his axe and said, You fools, how dare you show such disrespect to a god? The masked man, apparently named Bone Rock, held a weapon made of animal bones. He sneered. God? We don't know what that means. The protagonist raised an eyebrow. This one sounds like a leader. He answered, I am the chosen one sent by the heavens to rule over you all. Today, you dare defend me, so now I will punish you. With that, he roared and leapt into the air, swinging his axe right at Bone Rock's head. Stonebone, wielding a weapon made from animal bone, leapt up and attacked Tran Lap. At the same time, a system notification appeared in front of him. Main quest activated. Stop moving quest objective. Intimidate the primitives. Subdue them and become their leader. Reward. Attribute points and 3 blood-staunching potions. Failure penalty. Loss of the mountain-splitting axe. He was surprised upon reading the last line. Tran Lap frowned. The brutal penalty for failure clearly appeared in his mind, losing the mountain-splitting axe. Quickly, he raised his axe, gathering his strength to block Stonebone's attack. Unwilling to accept the system's penalty, he shouted to muster courage. It's hard enough to survive in this primitive world without a useful tool like this. I can't lose. At that moment, the two weapons collided midair. He was shocked by the unbelievable strength of his opponent. The ground beneath his feet cracked under pressure. Then the cracks spread outward from where he stood. Dirt and rock exploded upward. He shifted his strength to his other arm. He hadn't expected primitives to be so powerful. Gripping the axe with both hands, Tran Lap resisted the bone weapon. Both of them roared with all their strength, glaring at each other without the slightest friendliness. The sharp edge of the mountain-splitting axe nearly cleaved halfway through the bone weapon. He thought, but now that my body's been enhanced, I'm not weak anymore. Eye to eye, both poured more strength into their arms, refusing to back down. Then, the mountain-splitting axe cut clean through the bone weapon. The momentum carried both of them forward. Tran Lap shouted loudly, "Charge!" The severed head of the bone weapon flew off and landed on the ground nearby. The cut was so fast that smoke rose from the severed area. He silently tilted his head to look at the broken weapon on the ground. Stonebone, equally surprised, followed his gaze and stared in silence at his now useless weapon. His mood turned grim. The other primitives also stared at the severed bone weapon, speechless. Tran Lap looked at his opponent and unconsciously swallowed. A sudden ominous feeling crept over him. Stonebone snarled through clenched teeth. "How dare you break my weapon?" Veins popped on his head as he raised his voice and gave the order. "Everyone, attack him, tear him to pieces." Immediately, the primitives, wielding their bone weapons, charged forward. Tran Lap ran while shouting, "Playing dirty? Didn't we agree to a one-on-one fight?" He ran at full speed, yelling about the injustice. "So many people bullying a 24-year-old like me, is that fair? This is insane." Just then, a primitive with a wooden weapon charged up behind Tran Lap and swung hard. His eyes sharp, clearly planning a sneak attack. Sensing it, Tran Lap instinctively muttered, "Huh?" Without looking back, he swung the mountain-splitting axe and easily shattered the attacker's weapon. The man fell flat, raising his hands in a panic. Babbling nonsense. Tran Lap looked at him with annoyance. "You people, just keep coming non-stop." He tilted the axe forward, gripped it tightly, and swung it again. "Don't push me too far. If you force me, I'll take 5 of you down with me." With resolute eyes, he shouted threateningly, "Back off." Surprisingly, they listened. The primitives froze and halted their charge. Despite his bold front, Tran Lap was still worried. "If this terrifyingly strong pack surrounds me, I'll definitely die here. I need to scare them somehow." Just then, the primitives suddenly saw something terrifying. Trembling, they shouted, "Ah, ah." They suddenly turned and fled, yelling, "Run!" Tran Lap watched them flee and wondered, what's going on? What scared them wasn't Tran Lap, but the creature behind him. With sharp eyes, a huge fur-covered body, and a menacing aura. Unaware, Tran Lap kept pondering, why'd they freak out like that? Was yelling really that scary? Just then, another system notification appeared. Side quest activated. Drive off the saber-tooth tiger quest objective. Help the primitives drive away the tiger. Reward: +2 attribute points. Increased affinity with primitives. Status: quest started automatically. Cannot be refused. He read the quest window, still unaware of the danger behind him. Side quest? Saber-tooth tiger? What nonsense is this? Looking up, he saw it, a massive tiger. Larger than a human, with 2 enormous saber-like fangs and razor-sharp teeth and claws. Leaping toward him, he was stunned for a moment, then bolted. The tiger gave chase immediately. "Holy shit," he yelled. "It really is a saber-toothed tiger." The tiger raised its head and roared, charging ferociously. Tran Lap ran while dodging its claws, complaining loudly, "This is too much." As the tiger tore up the ground behind him, Tran Lap used the axe to block and protect himself, grumbling about his fate. "Why does everything, people and beasts, want to eat me?" He jumped down a rocky ledge, but the tiger quickly destroyed the terrain and closed the distance. Looking back, Tran Lap thought, "This is bad. If this keeps up, I'm dead." The tiger leapt onto a thick tree trunk. Meanwhile, Tran Lap gritted his teeth, cursing the absurdity of the quest. What kind of side quest is this? How the hell do I drive it away? One bite and I'll be half a corpse. The tiger pounced. With sharp eyes, it swung a claw at his back while he was off guard. Pain shot through his body, and he screamed. He immediately collapsed. It slowly approached its prey. Tran Lap quickly propped himself up, facing it. "That hurt. One more hit and I'm done for. My luck seriously sucks." The saber-toothed tiger crouched, ready to pounce again. Tran Lap stood and swung his axe toward it, keeping a distance. He analyzed. No more running, I can't escape. Gripping the axe tightly, he stared at the tiger, thinking, fighting it head-on means death. Stay calm, use your brain. His eyes darted around, searching for something, anything, that could counter the tiger. Then he saw smoke in the distance. A realization struck him. Right, it's a wild beast. Wild animals are afraid of fire. He looked at the tiger, which was raising a paw. One chance. He hurled the axe forward and shouted, "Come on, you oversized cat, I'll take you down with me." The tiger roared and lunged. Tran Lap crouched, ready to use his old soccer skills to slip past it. Take my sliding tackle. But unexpectedly, its hind legs landed squarely on his stomach. Luckily, he slipped away and ran. Clutching his belly, he shouted, "Damn it, I'm never trusting movie logic again." The tiger chased closely behind. Narrowing his eyes, he determined his path. Cats all act the same, they like playing with prey. Ahead was a patch of overgrown vegetation. He ran toward it, reasoning, that brush can buy me time. If I reach the fire, I win. He ducked into the grass, dodging the tiger's claws. Everywhere the tiger passed was left in ruins. He ran hunched over, panting, as the tiger closed in. "Damn it," he shouted. Then he spotted the fire pit the primitives used for roasting meat. Hope surged in his voice. "It's right there." The tiger swung a paw, knocking him off balance. He fell forward, rolled, and quickly pushed himself up beside the fire. He grabbed a burning stick and swung it at the tiger's eye. A burn mark appeared, and the tiger roared in pain. It stumbled, disoriented, one paw clutching its eye. Seeing the swollen burn, Tran Lap smiled. It worked. Fire can hurt it. He brandished the torch and taunted, "Come on, you overgrown cat, still having fun chasing me?" Though he had fire on his side, he still didn't want to fight anymore. He hoped it would back off. Then a strange sound caught his attention. Frowning, he muttered, "Huh? What's that sound?" It grew louder from deep in the forest. He quickly deduced, and dreaded, that his guess was right. No way, that sound. On the ground, a massive clawed footprint appeared. Tran Lap realized, a creature even bigger is coming. In the middle of the night, from deep within the forest came a sound, likely from some kind of animal. The noise grew louder and louder. A flock of startled crows flew up. Tran Lap and the saber-toothed tiger looked toward the source. The tiger growled in the face of an unknown danger. Suddenly, it roared as if sensing imminent threat, then immediately abandoned its prey and fled for its life. Watching the tiger run away, he instinctively called out, "Hey!" He clenched his teeth in frustration at the cowardice. "Don't run. If you flee, what am I supposed to do? Face it directly?" At that moment, he was surprised when the system suddenly appeared in front of him with a notification. "You have accepted a side quest. Chase off the saber-toothed tiger." The system notification continued. "The saber-toothed tiger has retreated. Congratulations on completing the quest. You have received 2 attribute points and favor from the primitives. Please choose how to distribute your attribute points." He looked at the reward and exclaimed, 2 attribute points. However, the sound seemed to be getting closer. He tilted his head and looked toward it in surprise. Tran Lap muttered as he analyzed the current situation. The noise is getting closer. Escaping is still the top priority. He ran while holding a lit wooden torch and a mountain-splitting axe. He told the system, "Increase 1 point in strength and 1 in agility." Immediately, a system message appeared. Strength +1. Agility +1. His body seemed to transform. He exhaled a breath, running down a sloped terrain. Stepping over fallen logs, he leapt down swiftly and murmured about the change from the attribute upgrade. "Speed, it's faster now." Then he landed on the ground. Nearby was a shallow pit, where primitives were hiding. He stopped and looked down. Sighing, Tran Lap called down, "Hey!" Thatch Cot looked up and immediately asked, "Huh? Why aren't you eaten by the saber-toothed tiger?" Faced with the question, he simply laughed, raised his mountain-splitting axe and said, "A saber-toothed tiger? In my eyes, it's just a big cat. A few swift blows from me and it ran off in terror." That's what he said, but it wasn't quite the truth. Still, since no one witnessed it, he could fool them and show off. He smirked inwardly. "Caw, hurry and worship me." But their silence was completely contrary to what he expected. He was puzzled. What's going on? Why don't they seem scared? Did they not understand what I said? Just then, a primitive girl with dark blonde hair approached him. Tran Lap didn't understand what she intended. She came closer. A woman approaching made him a bit stiff. "Why you? What do you want?" Suddenly, she knelt down and hugged one of his legs. His face turned red like a tomato. She rubbed against his pants and joyfully cried out, "Savior, you saved us." At the same time, the other primitives also knelt down. He was startled. Huh? Then came a flood of praises. You saved us all. Please accept our gratitude, no matter what. Please stay and become our leader. Then we'll never have to fear the saber-toothed tiger again. Their actions made him recall the quest reward. Could this be the primitive favor in the quest reward? He was pleased as he looked at the kneeling primitives. The reward turned out to be far beyond what he imagined. Didn't expect favorability to reach this level. Tran Lap regained composure and spoke up. Ahem, please rise. If you are this enthusiastic, I can't refuse such good intentions. The primitives became even more excited upon hearing his words. Not only is he willing to live with us, he even agreed to become our chief. He's so strong. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Amid their kneeling and praise, he felt like a king wielding a sword and command. Ka, feels just like being an emperor. Tran Lap smiled at the primitive people and raised his axe high. All rise. From now on, I am your king. Immediately, the system displayed a notification. You have successfully joined the nameless tribe. Quest complete. Settling in. You received 3 bottles of hemostatic potion, plus 1 attribute point. Please select attribute distribution. He sighed in relief and chose to increase stamina. System message. Stamina plus 1. He examined the system and analyzed. Any attribute increase brings a quality leap. For example, someone wielding an iron axe and wooden shield, after upgrading, would have a golden shield, golden axe, and even a helmet. He concluded. Looks like I'll need to do more quests to earn attribute points. Then he called the system. System. Open inventory. A blue panel with multiple slots appeared. 2 slots were occupied, the mountain-splitting axe and the newly acquired hemostatic potions. The potions were blue. Info appeared beside it. Hemostatic potion, a quality medicine made from various herbs. Stops bleeding, heals skin, expires in 1 day. He frowned after reading the expiry. You've got to be kidding me. It has an expiration date? And only 1 day? Tran Lap analyzed. In other words, once taken out, if not used within 1 day, it becomes useless. He decided to take out a bottle. A round blue orb formed in his hand. Perfect timing to test it on the wound on my back. The orb released droplets toward the claw wound from the saber-toothed tiger. As they touched, the droplets melted into the injury. His skin was restored. The primitives were amazed. Feeling the healed wound, he was pleased. Truly good stuff. In critical moments, this hemostatic potion can save lives. He then handed one to Thatchcott. Some of you were injured earlier, right? Distribute this to them. Thatchcott was surprised by Tran Lap's generosity. He folded his hands and shouted in admiration. Our king is so powerful. Thank you, your majesty. Tran Lap calmly raised a finger and said, no need for that. How else can I control you all? Then looked around and added, but now that I'm your king, I should get to know you all. Let's start with you. He pointed at Thatchcott. Introduce your name and any special skill you have. Thatchcott immediately flexed his biceps and winked. I'm Thatchcott. Before you came, I was kinda the boss. I was the strongest fighter. One by one, the others introduced themselves. A boy wearing white wolf fur and holding a wooden stick with a rope at the tip said, I'm Akon. I'm good at hunting. A muscular man with dark skin, round lips, and 3 strands of hair held a bone weapon. I'm Lang Kot Chui. I can roar to scare away wild beasts. A bald, muscular man clenched his fists, his muscles bulging. I'm Hoang Thatch. I have the greatest strength. Just then, a hand landed on Hoang Thatch's shoulder. He instinctively asked, huh? A female voice responded, are you done? It came from a ponytailed blonde girl. She smiled at him. My turn now, brother Hoang Thatch. He nodded. She looked at Tran Lap and cheerfully greeted, dear and most honorable king. Despite her cute, small face, she had a large and muscular build. I'm Sun Lin Ku Dai. Just call me Dai Dai. I'm great at throwing rocks. He turned aside, thinking, she's definitely the hidden boss. A primitive girl with a brown bun, holding fruit, introduced, I'm Sao Sao. I can climb trees and gather fruit. He nodded and smiled. Ahaha, you're really skinny. Finally, someone normal. Suddenly, something soft and big hit his head from behind. He turned and reached up. Huh? Who splashed water on my head? A tall primitive girl with long blonde hair, blue eyes, and large breasts smiled with hands on her hips. Sorry, I'm a duck, your majesty. You're really strong. He stammered at her beauty. Hello. She then pointed at a naked child with only leaves covering the sensitive parts, and another with long hair and beard covering his body. These 2 are my sons. They haven't been named yet. Tran Lap was surprised. Peeved. He just nodded and smiled while thinking, she has kids already? Then a mischievous grin appeared on his face. How am I any different from Dao Tak? Dao Tak equals a pun on Dao Thou, known for loving other men's wives. Suddenly, a head popped up next to him. He was startled. Your Majesty. It was a skinny boy with long bangs covering his eyes. A bone weapon on his back. He placed his hands on his hips. I'm a hunter. No special skill, but my eyes and ears are very sharp. So I usually scout for the group. Tran Lap rested his chin on his hand, picturing a map in his head. Finally, something different. This hunter is a perfect candidate for scouting. He'll be useful. Then he looked at the group and introduced himself. I'm Tran Lap. You may call me King, Chief, or Brother Tran. He continued, I'm a civilized man, here to teach you knowledge. Thatch Kot and the others didn't understand the strange words. Brother Tran? Civilized? Teach? He quickly explained. From now on, I'll teach you all many things. Transform you inside and out. Simply put, just follow me and I guarantee you'll have meat to eat every day. The 5 words, meat to eat every day, echoed in their minds. They shouted with joy under Tran Lap's surprised gaze. Long live. Right then, the system popped up, detecting host's willpower. Main quest triggered early. Settlement. He skimmed the quest details. Quest objective. Help the primitives build homes. Officially establish a tribe. Expand population from 11 to 50. Time limit, 15 days. 3 bonus days added for early trigger, total 18 days. Quest reward. Plus 3 attribute points. 1 large resource treasure chest. 1 inheritance blueprint. System notifications popped up around him. Main quest. Settlement quest objective. Help the primitives build shelters. Officially establish a tribe. Expand the population to 50. Time limit, 15 days. Bonus. Since the quest was triggered early, you've been granted an extra 3 days. New total, 18 days. Rewards. Triple attribute points. 1 large supply crate. 1 inheritance template. He remained calm. Another main quest. Huh? He looked at the small group of primitives before him. Even counting the children, there were only about 15 of them. Frowning, he thought seriously. If he wanted to grow the tribe to 50 people in just 18 days, then, there's no other way, we'll have to merge with other tribes. Facing the tough road ahead, he gave himself a pep talk. Looks like these next 18 days won't be peaceful. Gotta give it everything I've got. The system chimed again. Large supply crate plus inheritance template. He pondered the new rewards. These 2 have never shown up before. Hopefully, they won't let me down after all the effort I put in. Night fell. The sunlight faded, replaced by the glow of the moon. Everything grew quiet. The primitives and he were sleeping, lying on beds of grass beneath the trees. He winced. Arg, this stupid grass pokes like crazy. How is anyone supposed to sleep like this? Grumbling, he sat up, starving and tired. He glanced around at the others, who were hugging bones and gnawing them in their sleep. He held his stomach and sighed. How am I supposed to conquer the world on an empty stomach? First things first, gotta find food. Then it hit him. Oh right, when I fought that giant beast, there was still a bunch of grilled meat left behind. It might still be edible. 2 voices popped up in his head. 1. A timid little angel. But that beast that scared off the saber-tooth tiger might still be around. The other. A bold devil. So what? You want to starve to death instead? Just risk it. He slapped his face. No more thinking. Time to gamble. No way I'm bumping into that monster again. Summoning his axe, he stepped forward. Let's go. With a powerful stomp, he leapt away into the night. The forest grew darker, eerily silent. Rustling sounds came from the bushes. He crouched low and peeked through. All quiet. There it was. A pile of still smoldering grilled meat. Nice. If I'm careful, I should be fine. He crept toward the meat. Beside it were other animals? Huh? Rabbits too? He hesitated. If I'm going to be king, I can't just think about myself. He tied up a rabbit with some rope, gathered a few other critters, slung the meat over his shoulder, and bounced back. But soon, he stopped. Something's wrong. The forest around him felt different. The landscape didn't match what he remembered. Suddenly, his foot slipped. Thud. He fell into a pit. Meat and bones flying everywhere. Who the hell dug a giant hole here? Then he froze. A shadow loomed ahead. Wait, how can there be a shadow in a forest with no moonlight? He looked up at the edge of the pit. Then around. All he saw were crushed trees, broken branches, and massive footprints. Everywhere the creature had stepped, the forest had been flattened. He stared at them, confused. What kind of animal has feet this big? An ostrich? No. No way. No ostriches that big. Then it clicked. Dinosaurs? He gritted his teeth. I should have guessed when I saw the saber-tooth tiger. He grew serious. This isn't just some primitive age. There are ancient beasts here that shouldn't even exist anymore. He took off running. I need to find a safe place to settle, ASAP. Morning came. The orange sun lit up the sky. Everyone was scrambling to snatch pieces of grilled meat. That chicken leg is mine. Gimme that meat. He watched them, dazed, as they fought over food. Stop fighting already, he snapped. He sighed. These people don't know how to make a fire. Don't understand sharing. Don't know how to save food. Still so much to teach. Standing tall in the center of the crowd, he announced, today's food will be given to the hunters who go out. Who's coming with me? Thatch Cot eagerly stepped forward. King, normally we take turns hunting. Yesterday it was me, Akan, and Hoang Thatch. He pointed at 3 others. Today it's Luke Dang, Hak Tru Jock, and Lang Kot Chui. One of them shyly approached him. But, since the king is going too. Everyone wants to go. The rest blushed and nodded along. He glanced at little Tam, standing alone, hugging a bone. Poor kid must be afraid I'm mad at him for catching me yesterday. He resolved to cheer the boy up. All right then, if everyone wants to go, so be it. It's perfect. I was planning to look for a new place to build our homes. Dai, standing behind him, asked curiously, King, what's a home? He explained. A home is where you live with the people who matter most to you, like the roots of a tree. He patted a massive tree trunk. It starts deep in the earth, giving strength and a sense of safety to everyone connected to it. He imagined each person in the tribe as a root, with himself as the biggest, deepest one. They all stared at him in awe. Dai stepped closer, eyes full of hearts. She hugged him tight. He barely reached her chest. It looked like a giant cuddling a tiny person. Then, can I live with you, my king? His nose bled. Well, in the future, we'll all live together like one big family. Ha ha ha. She turned and cheered to the others. The king says he'll live with me. He even said he'll have children with me. His nosebleed worsened. Hey, stop saying weird stuff. Thatch Cot asked. So, king, where are we building this home? He called out. Gather round, everyone. I'll explain. He sat on the ground and drew a circle with a stick. First, we need a large, flat area. It's best if there's a mountain to the north and a river to the south. He sketched as he spoke. This ensures clean water, good irrigation, access to wood and stone, and helps form a natural defense barrier. Even better if there's a forest across the river to hunt and gather from. He kept drawing. We'll need seeds and wood for farming and construction. Resting his chin on one hand, he added, and if we're lucky, it'll be near the coast. Fertile soil, and someday we can learn seafaring. Everyone stared at the dirt drawings with confusion. He imagined himself as a great ruler, standing on a ship, commanding his fleet. The Delta will be our cradle of civilization. Just then, little Tam spoke up. I know a place like that. He spun around and grabbed the boy's shoulders. Really? Then lead us there. If it's true, you'll be the hero of the day. Tam looked nervous. It's not far to the east. But, there's a herd of bulls there. Really tough ones. He grew more excited. Bulls? Even better. If we can tame them, we'll have a new food source and we'll learn animal husbandry. Cracking his knuckles, he declared. Perfect. Today's target. The bull herd. He raised his axe high. Everyone, grab your weapons. Toward our new home in the east, move out. In the distance were 2 towering mountain ranges, surrounded by lush green forests. Along the path beneath the trees, voices echoed. The scene was calm, almost mundane. A chicken stared wide-eyed, tilted its head, and stuck out its tongue. A typical smell lingered in the air. Little Tam wore the chicken head from earlier and was scouting from afar. Your Majesty, it's very quiet around here. We can depart soon. Sitting behind, he hesitated. Ahem, little Tam, he said, standing up with a smile. Don't worry so much. If we keep waiting, it'll get dark. Let's move. He walked forward confidently, encouraging everyone. Trust me, even a saber-toothed tiger ran away when it saw me. I'll protect you all. Little Tam responded. All right, Your Majesty. From here, we'll be able to see the bison herd if we reach the mountain peak. He pointed ahead. The man nodded. We can't waste time. Lead the way, Tam. They climbed toward the peak. Near the top, little Tam hid behind a rock and peeked down. Shush, they're just below. Everyone, crouch down like me. Be careful. The man stepped forward and whispered. Do you really have to make such a big deal out of this? But a thought struck him. Could there be something besides the bison down there? He jumped down a rock ledge and gasped. Wow, the scent of salt hit his nose. This is the smell of the sea. He called out to the system. System, open the universal map. The map unfolded before him. He beamed. 3 sides are mountains, and the other is the sea. This is the perfect spot for the first city. Suddenly, little Tam pulled him backward. What is it? He asked. Puzzled. Your Majesty, please don't talk so loud. Tam whispered nervously. Don't let those giant black bison hear you. He ducked behind the rock and nodded. All right, I'll be careful. Then, a system message appeared. Photo-based survival guide activated. Scan results. Asterisk plants ×3. Asterisk small animals ×2. A screen popped up showing 2 plants. Green sunflower. An herbaceous plant with roots usable for treating stomachaches. Red vine plant. A red, tentacle-like vine containing mild neurotoxins in its sap. Then a towering tree appeared. Great spring tree. A deciduous tree with high-quality wood. Takes 100 years to mature. On one branch was a small gray-white creature. Gray squirrel. A nut-eating mammal. Tastes pretty good. Lastly, a terrifying bug. Worker bee. Its mandibles resemble axes. Its sting contains neurotoxins. 5 stings can be fatal. He glanced ahead. Huh? Turning to Tam, he asked, where exactly are those giant black bison you mentioned? Tam pointed just beyond the forest. Right past those trees. There's a clear river over there. I can take everyone for a closer look. Before leaving, the man warned. Okay, everyone be cautious. 30 minutes later, the sun was high and harsh. They moved quickly under the trees. This way, hurry. Tam led them to a shady spot. Your Majesty, this is it. Any closer and they'll notice us. He frowned. Everything's so quiet. Aren't you being a bit paranoid? He sat down, unconvinced. What's there to fear from a bunch of cows? Another system message popped up. New plants acquired ×3, small animals ×1, photo guide updated. He exhaled. Huh, that's all? Muttering to himself. I was worried some terrifying monster might show up. But there's not even a goat in sight. Tam, you sure you didn't imagine things? Tam sweated nervously and silently pointed upward. The man froze. Huh? He stared at the forest. Wait, is that tree moving? Tam shouted in panic. Up there. What? He blinked in confusion. Looking up, his jaw dropped. Holy! A massive black figure with glowing blue lines towered above them. It was enormous. He muttered. What the hell is that? Tam trembled like a leaf. THTH that's. The beast roared once, then roared even louder. The system chimed in. Iron-horned black bison, mammal. Artiodactyla, Bovidae subfamily. Primarily grazes. Highly territorial. This is a bison? He shouted. Behind him, Stone Bone whispered. Your Majesty, are we really going to hunt that? He went blank. Of course. Everyone looked at him with admiration. Wow, the king is so brave. Meanwhile, he tensed every muscle and forced himself to act heroic. You all stay here and prepare an ambush. I'll scout ahead. They watched him walk off with stars in their eyes. Our king, so cool? But behind the trees, he was nearly in tears. I didn't want our poor tribe to die in vain. He crept through the trees toward the bison. Guess all I can rely on now is my agility stat. He held his axe and crept closer. That leg is thicker than my entire body. Maybe I should find a calf first. The bison burped loudly, scaring the life out of him. Damn, it's terrifying. It munched on leaves like it was devouring human flesh. Interrupting someone's meal is rude, right? He looked for another target. One bison was playing with butterflies. That one looks less scary. It was the smallest of the herd. Let's try reasoning first. Maybe it's a gentle soul. He stood up and waved. Hey there, morning grass taste good? The bison stared at him blankly, as if unsure how to respond. He chuckled awkwardly. It won't flip out, right? Wrong. It roared with bloodshot eyes. Other bison heard the roar and charge. He panicked. I only asked a question. No need to bring the whole herd. He ran, shouting, stay back. He dove into the river and swam like a professional, chanting, please stop chasing me, please stop. Clambering ashore, he gasped, they're still coming? Why do they hate me this much? The primitive tribespeople watching from the cliff were amazed. Whoa, as expected of our king. Facing an entire bison herd head-on. Fearless. Look, he's heading toward that cliff. It's a dead end. You fool. He's clearly trying to lure them into a trap. In reality, he was screaming for help. Reaching the cliff, he jumped and climbed the rock face. Dodging hooves, he nearly slipped. Dangling in the air, he groaned. What now? Below, the bison slammed into the cliff. Knocked themselves out. He climbed up and smirked. Didn't expect that, huh? Take that. The bison below bellowed in anger. He thought, this rock wall can't take much more. But they can't climb, so I'm safe, for now. The bison turned and left. He let out a breath. Phew, Temporary safety. He stood and declared, I'll pay you back for this, someday. Turning, he looked down the cliff. But first, how'd I get down? The bison still lurked below. Guess I'll climb higher and circle around. Might as well map out the area while I'm at it. He climbed up, set a hand on the next ledge, and froze. This place. Before him lay a vast natural vista, an enormous lake, and mountains beyond. He grinned. This is the place. Standing tall atop the cliff, he shouted, I will build a tribe here. A city, an empire. He laughed boldly. This game has only just begun. Watching the black bulls retreat, someone spoke up. Why are those black bulls turning back? Where's our king? Thatch Cod looked at little Tam, who was staring into the distance. Don't tell me he got trampled. Climbing a tree, he muttered to himself. No way. I have to find a way to retrieve the king's terrifying axe. As he lifted one leg to climb higher, a sharp whistle cut through the air. Whip. An arrow struck just 5 centimeters from his waist. A voice echoed behind him. Thatch Cod, you got some nerve. Startled, he yelled in panic, but the figure behind just smiled. Relaxed and calm. Sat here waiting for me to croak. Were you? The others turned and shouted in excitement. The king. It's the king. Thatch Cod rushed over, clasping his hands flatteringly. Hee, your majesty. So, how were those bulls? Scary, right? HMPH. The king pointed at one of the bulls and said, I was thinking of eating beef to regain my strength. Any of you want to taste? Little Tam quickly waved him off. Let's not. We can't beat them anyway. Thatch Cod chuckled nervously. Yeah, even if we win, we wouldn't survive the aftermath. Right, your majesty? The king's face darkened. Did you not understand what I meant? He clenched his fist, clearly annoyed. Just answer me. Do you want it or not? The crowd hastily nodded like chickens pecking rice. Want, definitely want. With that, the king happily returned to the tree from earlier and pulled his axe free. Excellent. From today on, I'll teach you how to forge powerful weapons. He raised a fist with confidence. And advanced hunting techniques. 3 days from now, we strike back. The group erupted in cheers. The quiet forest echoed with the cries of birds. The king swung his axe with a mighty shout. Ha! With one mighty chop, a thick tree, so wide it took 2 people to hug, fell to the ground. Everyone stared in awe. Whoa! Thatch Cod stepped up. Your majesty, this tree doesn't have fruit. We can't eat it. Why chop it down? He rested his axe on the ground. It's material for making weapons. Watch closely. This'll be useful. He picked up a wooden branch and began explaining. Choose one about 2 meters long. Then, he whittled one end of the branch into a sharp point. Holding it up, he smiled just as the system message appeared. You have successfully invented a new tool. +1 science point current stats. Strength. 3, stamina. 2, agility. 2, reputation. 0, science. 1, territory. None. He thought to himself. Science points are way easier to get than stat bonuses that require all sorts of missions. But still, I have no idea what science points even do yet. He held the sharpened stick up and explained, this is called a spear. You can stab with it or. He took aim. Throw. With a flick, the spear flew forward and embedded deep into a tree trunk. It even sizzled slightly on impact. Everyone gasped in admiration. Awesome. Thatch Cod walked up to inspect it. Your majesty, what is this terrifying thing? Everyone swarmed him like ants, begging, Your majesty, let us try too. We used to just forage for fruit. We didn't know you could do this. He laughed in satisfaction. Okay, calm down. There's enough for everyone. He looked at Thatch Cod. Thatch Cod, you get this one. The man pulled the spear free. Beaming, thank you, your majesty. The king turned to the others. Now I'll make the rest of your spears. Then we'll start your special training. Yeah, thank you, king. The sun rose high, and the clearing bustled with activity. Nearby, Thatch Cod and Hoang Thatch were sparring with spears. On the other side, Akan held one up in admiration. Whoa, it's long, thick, and sturdy. Behind him stood Lang Kot Chui and Hak Tru Jok. The king looked at them and commanded, You two, come at me. They exchanged glances. Then charge. Take this, shouted Lang Kot Chui, but the king dodged with ease, causing him to stumble. Hak Tru Jok followed up with a heavy swing, but the king leapt away, then countered, thrusting the blunt end of his spear right into Jack's chin. As the king landed, Lang Kot Chui rushed in again. Die. Thwack. Blood splattered. Little Tam stared, stunned. Huh? Thatch Cod and Hoang Thatch were equally shocked. The king had driven his spear into Lang Kot Chui's chest. You're dead, he said flatly. Seeing him gasping, the king added, If this were a real spear, you'd be finished. Caught Chewy collapsed. He's like a god, someone muttered. How can we ever beat him? The king began explaining. You all lack technique. You rely only on brute force. The true strength of a wooden spear lies in its tip. You must always aim the point at your enemy or prey. He turned away. This takes practice. For now, throwing from a distance suits you better. He pointed to a large stone with 2 concentric circles, one small circle inside a bigger one, and a dot at the center. See that target? They nodded. Stand here and throw your spears. Whoever hits the center first gets extra spears. Thatch Cod stepped up eagerly. Let me go first. He threw. The spear pierced the stone, but missed the center. Strong arm. The king praised. But your aim needs work. Thatch Cod scratched his head sheepishly. Next, Hunter. As the king called out, a spear landed right at his feet. He turned to the boy. Showing off. Are you? The boy grinned. Hee hee. My bad. One by one, the others threw their spears, but none hit the center. Next, Hoang Thatch. Next. The king frowned. Seems like none of them are naturally gifted. Maybe I rushed this. Suddenly, a spear flew past him, direct hit. Right in the center. He turned, surprised. Huh? Was that you, Akan? The boy nodded. Yep. The crowd was stunned. Dead center. Beaming with pride, the boy asked. So I win, right, king? Very good. The king praised, handing him 2 extra spears. Keep it up. Yes. From atop a mountain nearby, Dai called out. King, bad news. There's a beast approaching from the forest. The king raised his voice. Everyone, grab your weapons and get ready. They lined up, staring into the woods. Stay alert, it's coming. The king thought to himself. This'll be the perfect opportunity to boost their combat experience. From afar, a shadow approached. A massive beast covered in fiery orange-red fur. With 2 huge horns, it pounced forward. Careful. Seeing it leap, the king shouted, Follow my command. He raised his spear high. We will bring this beast down. The wild boar charged straight at him. He quickly dodged to the side and shouted, Follow my orders, surround it. But don't attack yet. Wait for my signal. As soon as he finished speaking, he rushed toward the beast. Both sides collided violently. He was quickly pushed back. But after a moment, he managed to hold his ground. The enemy's stamina is dropping, he shouted. This is a rare chance. The boar was still crazed. Charging wildly toward him, he gave another order. Akun. Bone spears. Attack its weak point with wooden spears. The 2 responded quickly. Got it, they shouted, then raised their spears and hurled them toward the boar's back. The boar let out a pained roar. Immediately, it turned and changed its target. No longer charging at him. He shouted again. The wooden spears broke. The boar was now panting heavily. Exhausted, everyone seized the opportunity and moved in to surround it. Suddenly, a coon hurled another spear. It struck the boar right in the eye, driving it mad with rage. Seeing this, he smiled and praised. A coon, you got talent. The boar lunged at him once more. He shouted, Stonebone, your turn. The Stonebone trio raised their spears and hurled them at the boar's back. The beast went berserk, charging straight at him. You think you can run? He yelled. Not that easy. He immediately summoned his axe, dodged to the side, and slashed at one of its legs. He shouted again, Hunter. Tam cried out. Here. The boy jumped down and thrust his spear straight into the boar. Due to the wound from earlier, the beast collapsed to the ground. Tam drove his spear into its head, and the boar let out a pained shriek. It thrashed wildly, driven mad by the pain. Warning from the system. Someone shouted. The monster has gone berserk. He warned everyone. It's gone mad. Tam, still clinging to the spear on its back, screamed in fear. Help. Suddenly, he dashed toward the beast. Everyone panicked. It's coming. Someone yelled. King, don't go over there. But he leapt high into the air, aiming directly at the creature's head. With one decisive strike, his axe cleaved the beast in 2. Everyone stared in shock. No one knew what had happened inside the dust cloud. What happened? Is the king okay? King? As the dust settled, a figure slowly appeared. There, look, it's the boar, the giant one. The king is standing on it. He calmly said, Stop yelling. Are you calling for my spirit or something? I'm right here. He let out a sigh of relief and praised. Everyone worked together really well. Tonight, we feast. Everyone cheered. Let's eat. Thank you, king. Tam was still lying on the boar's back. Suddenly, the boy cried out in joy. The king reached out his hand. Hunter, come on up. He praised the boy. You were amazing today. Tam fell silent for a moment. Then he wiped away his tears and said, Thank you, your majesty. The king turned and called. A coon. A coon quickly responded. Here, my king. The king held out his hand in praise. This time, you made the greatest contribution. From now on, you'll join me on every hunt. I'll even craft new weapons just for you. Hearing that, a coon jumped with joy. Awesome. Later, the group chatted. When it comes to our king, his grace is like a god's. He leapt and cleaved the boar's head clean off. Of course, someone else added, that mad boar wouldn't have died so easily without help from me, Stonebone. While talking, he saw Day walk by with a piece of meat. Hey, Day, give me that piece of meat, he said. She immediately refused. No way, this one's for the king. She ran over and handed it to him. Your Majesty, have something to eat. Seeing how they were eating, he asked curiously, are you all really eating it like that? She replied nonchalantly, yeah, what's the problem? He recalled, didn't you guys know how to use fire? Why are you eating raw meat? She explained, oh, that? We didn't save any embers from the last time. So, he was surprised. So that fire before was just a fluke? Fire was the beginning of human civilization, warding off beasts, making life safer, even shaping culture. He looked at them and thought to himself, they're even more primitive than I expected. Their knowledge of fire barely goes beyond cooking meat for taste. He made a decision. If he wanted this tribe to develop, he needed to teach them how to make fire. He called to her, come with me, I have an idea. He looked at a broken spear on the ground. Perfect. One of the spears broke earlier, this will do. He sighed. Looks like I'll have to teach you all some new skills today. Everyone, come watch. He began spinning the spear shaft. He slowly guided them. Add wood shavings and dry sticks to the groove in the log. Use both hands and spin. You need patience. After a while, smoke began to appear. A tiny spark ignited. Everyone cheered. Our king is a god. The fire god has descended. He cleared his throat and reminded them, let's stay humble. From now on, no more eating raw meat. Stonebone shouted, I want the whole world to know our king made fire. The king looked at him. Stunned, he grabbed Stonebone by the head and warned, no need, a little modesty is good. Quiet now. They all joyfully huddled together to protect the fire. Quick, preserve the flame. Suddenly, a system notification appeared. Skill discovered. Firemaking plus 10 technology points. Current stats stamina. 2 strength. 3 agility. 2 reputation. 0 technology. 11 territory. None. He looked at the notification and thought, 10 points at once? Seems easier to gain tech points than I expected. But he didn't yet know what the points were for. Technology. 11. He tapped on the tech menu. The system explained. Technology points can be used to appraise inherited blueprints. Each appraisal consumes 10 points. He recalled. Inherited blueprints. Right, that was a reward from the settlement quest. So these blueprints are strange, they need tech points to appraise? Suddenly, someone called to him. King, Tam explained, while we were butchering the boar, I noticed signs that it was still nursing. The king was puzzled. You mean? Tam gave his theory. I suspect there are boar piglets nearby. So I spent some time searching for the nest. And I actually found it. He had found a group of piglets hiding nearby. A system notification popped up. Side quest activated. Tame wild beast's eye. Quest goal. Capture and domesticate the wild boars. Quest reward. Asterisk small supplied treasure chest ×1. Asterisk beginner's cooking recipe book ×1. Accept this quest? He looked at the system panel thoughtfully. Taming wild beasts. Could it be a quest chain? He quickly called out, Little Tam, you and Dada go bring those piglets back here. Both of them immediately responded. Yes, Your Majesty. Got it, King. He reminded them as they ran off. Remember, I want them all captured. Be careful, don't hurt them. System notification. You have accepted the side quest, Tame the Wild Beast's Eye. Following his orders, Dada swiftly led Little Tam into the forest. Meanwhile, he let out a sigh of relief. Guess I'll build a pig pen before they get back. He muttered. He turned to the others and said, Come see me after you finish eating. I'll teach you something new. By late afternoon, the group returned carrying bundles of wood. Stonebone frowned. Why did the king make us gather so many branches? Yellow Rock behind him snapped. Less talk. How should I know? A Khan greeted them. You guys are back. Stonebone glanced at the three of them weaving something. What are you doing? A Khan explained. The king said this is straw rope. It's way stronger than those vines we used before. You flatten the thatch like this. Then weave it crisscross into rope. Stonebone yelled. I don't get a word you're saying. He was immediately called out. Stonebone, stop staring and get the stuff over here. Coming. The king held a spear and started stabbing holes into the ground. Watching him, Stonebone asked, Your Majesty, what do we do next? Everyone, come here. He demonstrated each step. Pick suitable branches and straw rope like I did. Each of you needs to make at least 5 wooden frames like this. The group responded in awe. Ooh, yes, Your Majesty. He continued guiding them. Stick the frames into the holes I made. Then tie them together with rope. The joined branches will form a pen. Cover it with straw layer by layer like this. System notification. Basic pig pen constructed. Interesting. He nodded. The others grew excited. Whoa, this is awesome. Suddenly, everyone swarmed toward the pen, pushing and yelling. I called dibs. Quit shoving. Move it. I'm sleeping here. The king built this for me. I still need to bear the king's child. You're a man. How the hell are you giving birth? He watched the chaotic group pile into the pen and could only cover his face with a deep sigh. The pig pen's not for you lot. Just then, little Tam and Dada returned, calling out, Your Majesty, we brought all the piglets. 8 in total, all accounted for. He praised them. Good job, both of you. Now take these adorable little ones into the pen. Lang Bone Club suddenly dashed forward and blocked him. No, Your Majesty, you can't give such a luxurious shelter to wild boars. Yellow Rock chimed in behind him. Exactly, it was so hard building this shelter. We want to live in it too. I still want a home where I can bond with the king. He flung them away in disgust. Get lost. Gross. He warned them, if you're so desperate to live in a pig pen, I won't stop you, but when we build real wooden houses later, you'll be left out. Yellow Rock quickly pushed Lang Bone Club forward. In that case, let him stay here. I'm out. Lang Bone Club flailed. Nope, let the pigs have it. He turned to little Tam. You heard them. Take the pigs in. Yes, Your Majesty, the boy replied. Khan asked curiously, Your Majesty, aren't wild boars supposed to be our food? Why are we keeping them? He responded, if we could eat meat every day without going hunting, would that make you happy? Yes, very happy. He nodded. Then we must raise them, breed them, and have even more piglets. Only then can we live the life I spoke of. Don't worry if you don't get it now. Just follow my lead. System notification. Quest, Tame the Wild Beasts I completed. Rewards. Small Supply Crate X1. Basic Cooking Guide X1 Structure built. Pigpen +1 Science Stats, Strength +2. Stamina +2. Agility +3 Fame, 0 Science, 12 Territory, none. Open the reward box, he commanded. System notification. You received Bag of Salt from the Small Supply Crate. You learned *stir-fried eggplant, *roasted peanuts, *sunny side up eggs, *roasted lamb shank, *stir-fried clams with lemongrass and chili, He looked at the new recipes and chuckled to himself. Salt in a cookbook? Am I becoming a chef before I even get to develop tech? System reminder. Unlocking recipes may trigger special rewards. Guess I'll need to start collecting more ingredients and spices from now on. That night, he and little Tam were standing guard. He suddenly spoke. Little Tam, you've been through a lot today. You were injured during the day. And now you're staying up to guard everyone. Good work. Little Tam looked down. I almost got you captured by Stone Bone earlier. If I suffer now, it's only fair. He laughed and put his arm around the boy. You think I'm holding a grudge? I'm not that kind of guy. Then his tone turned serious. There's something I want to ask. Are there any other tribes like ours nearby? Little Tam thought for a moment. I've seen some before, but they weren't very friendly. Also, they looked different from us. He leaned forward. Different how? Tell me everything. Who are they? How many? Where do they live? Little Tam recounted what he knew. There are 3 other tribes nearby, Jungle Tribe, Bay Tribe, and Rock Tribe. Although they're considered near, it still takes a full day and night to reach any of them. The Jungle Tribe lives closest to us, in the eastern forest, just south of where those big black cattle roam. They number around 30 to 40, and they don't like fighting. They're really good at traveling long distances. Their leader's a woman, not someone easy to deal with. The Bay Tribe also has about 30 to 40 people, living by the southern coast. They look terrifying and are always fighting each other. The Rock Tribe is the strongest. They have the most people and usually live atop the southwestern mountain. Occasionally, they descend together. I heard their chief is insanely strong, can kill a tiger with his bare hands. Best not to provoke them. He nodded, thinking deeply. If that info's accurate, the Jungle Tribe is probably the easiest to absorb first. Looking at my strange bunch here, we can't fight them head on. I'll have to find a peaceful way to win them over. Just then, a figure appeared behind him. He shivered. Huh? Why'd I suddenly feel a chill? Dada stepped forward with flushed cheeks. Your Majesty, still awake? Care to do something exciting with me? He froze and yelled. The boss turned to stone upon seeing Big Big acting cute. She said, "Meow, meow, your majesty, do I look like a kitty to you?" He grimaced inside but forced a laugh. "Ah ha ha, you look more like a saber-toothed tiger. You get a like." As he spoke, he reached out and pulled little Tam, who was lying against the cliff wall, to his feet. Without another word, the king dragged him along at full speed. "You need to poop, right? I'll go with you." Big Big stood there, teary-eyed, looking absolutely pitiful. Not far away, the two of them perched atop a tall tree branch, watching the chaos below. Little Tam squinted at the scrambling figures. "Your Majesty, they're here." He looked closer, his pupils narrowed in surprise. A terrified dodo bird was fleeing while a monstrous brute chased it. Sword raised. "Die, you dumb bird." Slash. "Hya, gotcha." The king squatted silently, observing the scene below. "So after camping here all night, they finally showed up. That's the Bay tribe." The two brutes cheered as they caught the dodo, which clucked fearfully. But then they started squabbling. "Give it to me," one growled, raising his blade, "or I'll chop you instead." The other, clutching the bird, snarled back, "Piss off." The king scoffed. Typical meatheads with nothing but muscles in their skulls. Then he continued, "According to your earlier intel, they've got about 30 members. If we can take them over, not only would our numbers swell, but we'd gain access to resources, like these dodos." Tam frowned. "But your majesty, we've got less than half their numbers. There's no way we can beat them." He nodded. "True, numbers are an issue, but with the right weapons." Looking down at their own measly battle strength, he muttered to himself, "Before we conquer them, we need to deal with those black cattle first. Only then can we use new resources to craft stronger weapons and gear." Turning to Tam, he said, "Let's go back. There's still a lot to do." The sun blazed overhead. Stone Bone sat alone, dazed. Suddenly, he sensed something and shouted, "The king's back! The king's back!" Cheers erupted. Stone Bone sobbed with joy. "We searched everywhere, we thought you abandoned us." Everyone nodded and shouted, Yeah, it's good you're back." He scratched his head and chuckled awkwardly. "Sorry to make you worry. Everyone, back to your tasks." He turned to Stonebone. "You and the battle group, keep practicing with the wooden spears." Stonebone stood tall. "Yes, your majesty." Next, he gave Akan a task. "You're in charge of teaching them spear throwing. You have 1 day, improve them as much as possible." "No problem." Watching them walk off, the king sighed. "So little time." "Your majesty." A sudden shout startled him. It was Big Big, holding a giant leaf proudly. "This leaf is the best for wiping after pooping." He stared at her, then said, "Thanks, but I need your help gathering the ladies. We've got work to do." He smiled gently. "Right now, I need a team to help carve wooden spears. First, collect some stones. I'll teach you how to make stone axes." "Got it," she beamed. "I'll rally the girls right away." The sky was clear and peaceful. Big Big and 2 others returned carrying a huge rock. "Your majesty, what about this one?" she asked. He nodded. "Excellent. It's perfect for a sharpening stone." He explained the process step by step. "First, take a rectangular stone and grind it on the sharpening rock until one end becomes sharp. Then tie it to a wooden handle with straw rope. And just like that, a beautiful stone axe was born." Everyone cheered. "Our king is a genius. You're amazing. A god. Dang, you've successfully invented stone tool crafting via grinding. +1 tech point. Current stats: stamina, 2 strength, 3 agility, 2 reputation, 0 technology, 13 territory, 0. He stared at the stats. "Only 1 tech point? For this whole invention?" He slumped. Whatever. Just follow the steps and bring me your finished axes." Big Big trotted over, grinning. "Your majesty, mine's done." He took it. A double-bladed axe. "Looks like you've got some real talent." She blushed. "I remembered what your divine axe looked like, so I copied it." System notification. Requirements met. Asterisk transition from Old Stone Age to New Stone Age, complete. Asterisk any member demonstrates new talent. Complete right pointing arrow hidden function unlocked. Talent awakening. What, a hidden feature? He stared at the axe, thinking, looks like this system function lets me discover everyone's talents. Big Big's talent must be in toolmaking. She caught him staring and pouted. Why are you looking at me like that? He cleared his throat and made an announcement. Everyone, use this standard to craft a stone axe. Let's also finish as many wooden spears as we can today. Yes, Your Majesty. The rhythm of axes chopping echoed through the air. 27, 28, 29? As the sun dipped behind the cliffs, Big Big cheered. 30 finished. He praised her. More than half of these were made by you. You're amazing, she asked shyly. Do you think the newer ones are better than my earlier ones? He nodded. Absolutely, you've got real talent. Noticing her scraped hands, he said with concern, your hands, after grinding and carving all day. You've worked so hard. She brushed it off. It's nothing, as long as I can help you. I don't care how tough it is. A duck chimed in, my hands are injured too. Your Majesty, so are Cao Cao's. Don't you care? Flustered, he tried to comfort them. Okay, I care. You've all worked hard. A duck grinned, then blow on them for us. Big pouted angrily. The king bolted. I'm outta here. The 50+ new spears were enough for now. He told everyone to rest while he checked on the training group. Phew, that was close. Suddenly, ready to fire, a massive object flew toward him. He dodged just in time. Holy! Before him lay a giant wooden log. They really went all out with this moving target practice. A Khan was observing the training grounds. Hoang Thatch and Lang Kot Chui's team. Reset the target. Next group. Prepare. He saw the king approach. Ah, your majesty. The king looked around and said. Looks good. Report today's results. A Khan nodded. Everyone's improved. They're hitting moving targets easily now. Black Tusk still has power but needs better timing. The biggest surprise is Hoang Thatch and Lang Kot Chui. Oh? Individually, they're nothing special. But as a team, they can take turns and throw 4 spears in rapid succession. All hit. Every time. Highest score today. The king smiled. Very good. Looks like we'll be able to deal with those black cattle tomorrow. A Khan blinked. Are you sure? The king thought back to that terrifying monster they'd fought. Of course. But just to be safe, we'll bring that secret weapon. Weapon, secret? The moonlight shone brightly. 2 birds perched on a branch before swooping down. Beneath them, the king was hard at work. He raised his hammer with strength and brought it down forcefully. Letting out a sigh, he muttered, phew, rolling around all night, but it's finally done. He recalled the moment when a Khan had asked in surprise. A secret weapon? He replied, yeah, watch carefully. We must choose leaves with sharp black tips. If your hands are injured, try not to let the sap touch your wounds. The less contact, the better. Now go. He gripped the leaves tightly in his hands. The system identified them as a natural anesthetic. He hoped the sticky substance would be enough to numb those monsters. A voice called out to him. King, we've brought all the wooden spears. Dai approached. King, why are you digging a small hole in this stone slab? He glanced at the hollowed-out spot. This is a stone mortar. You'll soon see what it's for. The king gave his orders. Tell the women to toss these green leaves into the mortar and use the stone pestle to pound them into a pulp. Then coat the spearheads with the juice. Hak Tru Jia excitedly asked. King, what do we do next? We want to play with spears too. Seeing them eating and chatting happily, he reminded them, ahem, eat and rest for now. There's a big battle ahead. They shouted enthusiastically. Yeah, the king is so strong. As the sun peeked over the mountain, he sat calmly on a large branch, slowly chewing his food, gazing at the grilled skewer in his hand. He thought, grilled meat really is better with a pinch of salt. From below, Dai shouted up at him. King, everything's ready. She leapt up and threw a wooden spear to him. He caught it with one hand, his voice turning serious. The time has come. Looking down at his people, he continued, women will stay behind to guard the homes and protect the children. The rest of you, grab your weapons and come with me up the mountain. Cheers erupted. Strong arms raised axes high in the air. A declaration was made. Now, it's our turn. The king and his comrades formed a squad. It was time for the monsters to tremble. Dark clouds obscured the moonlight. His companions stood atop a cliff, watching intently. Hoang Thatch murmured to the one beside him. The king went down to bait himself. Seeing the monsters below, he added, it doesn't look very safe. Thatchcott replied, the king is powerful, he won't be in danger. Open your eyes and watch. Enhok Tam observed 2 figures below. Everyone, get ready. He continued, looks like there's movement near the river bend. He looked at Dai and Cao Cao. You must deliver the spears on time, especially to Khan. Make sure he's never without a weapon. His eyes grew firm. The king is risking his life. We can't afford to mess up on our end. 10 minutes later, the monsters were sniffing around cautiously. The king was hiding in a bush. Observing them, he thought, based on last time, it should be fine if I escape to the rocky slope. He spotted a monster drinking water and analyzed. To be safe, I'll lure out one of the smaller ones first. He moved stealthily from one bush to another. Please don't let me trip over anything weird, he thought, or this little life of mine is finished. Stretching out his arm, he threw something past the monster and shouted, I'm a proud member of the Pure Love faction. Come at me, you're all dumbasses. The creature let out an angry roar. 3 of them came charging at him. 3? That might have been overkill, he thought, and dashed away. As he fled their pursuit, he yelled toward the cliff. Thatch caught, target the black bull first. Dodging a claw, he added, focus your attacks. Hoang Thatch raised his spear. Everyone, get ready. Thatch caught shouted, on my mark, throw the spears. Wooden spears rained down. One monster took a direct hit and roared in pain. Thrashing wildly, the king seized the chance to climb up. Akan called out, let me handle this. He hurled his spear, bullseye. It pierced the creature's neck. The monster howled in agony and collapsed. The resulting quake shook the cliff, making the king's climb unstable. Just as he was about to fall, a hand grabbed his arm. It was Thatch caught. King, are you all right? Let me pull you up. The king commanded, don't stop attacking. While they're confused, kill them all. From above, more spears rained down. Thatch caught ordered die. Aim for the one on the left, throw. She shouted back in concern. King, are you hurt? He replied, don't worry about me. Turning to Thatch caught, he said, keep your focus, help your people. A notification flashed before his eyes, leadership talent activated. So that's why he's such a natural leader. The king thought, watching Thatch caught command with skill and courage. This one's got the makings of a real officer, someone who can take charge on his own someday. Thatch caught gave a quick report. King, something's wrong, they don't look normal. The king looked down at the twitching, shaking monsters and laughed. Haha, looks like the anesthetic works faster than expected. Not even madness can keep them standing. Enhuk Tam yelled from above. King, more of those black bulls are coming. Dozens of them were charging up the slope. The king scowled. Damn it, they're faster than expected. Must have been drawn by the screams earlier. But he calmed everyone quickly. Don't panic, everything is going according to plan. Focus on the 3 bulls down below. Do not let any of them escape. The monster screamed in pain. He observed them and then announced. The anesthetic has slowed their movements. Aim for the hind legs. Don't let them escape. Stonebone A-kun and the others followed the order. They threw spears. The monsters were pierced by sharp spears and collapsed. Looking at them, he gave another order. Wait, 3 monsters have fallen. Stonebone said, King, now is not the time to be soft-hearted. In the distance, many more monsters were running over. Stonebone continued, if we don't deal with them quickly, the other black bulls will come. The king asked, how many wooden spears are left? Big reported, including the ones in everyone's hands. There are 28 left. The leader called to the boy above. Kid Tam, can you see clearly how many are left in that herd? The boy observed and replied, maybe about 20. He coldly looked at the 3 bulls below. This is the reason why I told you to stop. Our number of wooden spears isn't much. A-kun gave his opinion. But if we really give up, wouldn't it be a waste of effort dealing with those 3 black bulls just now? He unconsciously repeated what the boy just said. A waste of effort. Looking at the collapsed bull below. This is only part of the plan. Looking at the large shadow behind the bulls, he said, I never intended to fight the whole herd with just this many people. Seeing the lead bull appear, he finally said his true goal. From the beginning, my goal was to eliminate their leader. When the lead bull appeared, it attacked the other bulls, causing them to flee in panic. The remaining black bulls would naturally scatter in all directions. He was like a fisherman, and the bait was those bulls. The final prey was the lead bull. To lure out the biggest lead bull, of course we need some bait. That's also why we needed these 3 to stay alive and not let them escape. He said, but in the original plan, we only needed 1 as bait. Dealing with those 2 unnecessary black bulls cost us too many wooden spears. Kid Tam shouted loudly, everyone, look inside the forest. The lead bull has appeared. The black lead bull the king mentioned, could it be? Seeing that huge monster, that giant monster stretched and roared toward him to show its strength. They were forced back by its power. Damn it, the cliff shook violently. Kid Tam reported to everyone. Careful, they're coming. Dozens of bulls were charging up the cliff. They rammed into the cliffside. Seeing that, someone asked in confusion, they're ramming into the mountain? Are they all crazy? He observed and described the situation. We're screwed. Their leader has no intention of dealing with us directly. It only wants to command the black bulls from afar. A loud rumble caught everyone's attention. What was that sound? The cliff wall began to break apart, causing panic. The stone wall is cracking. He was worried. This is bad. Fall back and hide well. Soon the entire ground beneath them cracked open. The king fell. Big screamed in panic. King. Suddenly the rock she was standing on collapsed. She fell from above and landed on the ground. His pupils clearly showed his worry. Big. Jumping up, he ordered, Hoang Thatch, rescue her. The two of them slid down and went to her. The others also followed. Looking at her dirty face, he comforted her. You rest first. We'll protect you. Everyone stood in battle stance. We'll protect you. Langbone Club asked, Brother Hoang Thatch, what do we do? Rush up and fight them to the death? Looking at the furious monsters in front of him, he replied, Don't act rashly. Wait for the king's signal. The king stood up and said, So this was their tactic, everyone. Try to spread out a bit. He thought silently. The worst thing is, the leader of those black bulls might have seen through my trap. I didn't expect it to be that intelligent. Stonebone stood above and called down. The rest, take weapons and come down to protect the king. Hearing that, he gave an order. You all stay up there. Focus your strength on dealing with the ones charging up front. 3 people stood before a giant group of monsters. The monsters quickly rushed up to attack them. Luke Dang ran over and stood in front of him. He threw a wooden spear straight at the monster. It screamed in pain and spurted blood. Seizing the opportunity, he grabbed his axe and charged forward. One slash to its neck. It thrashed in pain. Luke Dang rushed over, grabbed him, and pulled him away. Careful. On the other side, Hoang Thatch held a spear against another monster. He swung the spear. The monster blocked it with its hand. It charged with its horns. Hoang Thatch grabbed the horn. Langbone Club rushed in and struck its head with a wooden spear. Stonebone gave the order. Focus your attacks, throw. 3 wooden spears flew straight into the monster. Its eyes were pierced by the spears. And it cried in pain. Tears falling. It collapsed. But everyone remained on guard. The other monsters saw this and backed away in fear. They looked at each other, exchanged signals, and retreated. Seeing this, he thought to himself, the herd has received the order to fall back. Looks like that bull is finally planning to fight personally. The sky began to rain. He looked at the opponent in front of him and sighed. It's raining. The final opponent was standing before him. He couldn't help but ponder. There's still, the Bull King. The Bull King suddenly sucked in its energy. He saw it about to unleash an attack and shouted, Crap, get out of the way. The Bull King launched an energy attack straight toward him. But he quickly dodged. Its energy strike shot straight at where Stonebone was standing. As soon as the energy attack stopped, everyone was shocked. He couldn't believe it. What is this? Sound waves? The Bull Roar ultimate move? Such an aggressive show of force, it crushed their morale with just one move. He gave an order to everyone. I'll draw its attention. You all take Big and escape to the north first. The others immediately followed the order. Yes, Your Majesty. Those above, wait for my signal. The Bull King immediately threw a punch at him. He looked at it with provocative eyes. Big guy, your opponent is me. The Bull King roared and charged straight at him. He focused all his energy. He quickly used the mountain cleaving axe to block its strike. But it was too strong, pushing him deeper and deeper into the ground. In an instant, he was flung far away. The Bull King stomped the ground and leapt toward him. Seeing that, he quickly ran away. Suddenly, he noticed something. He saw the spot where the Bull King's previous attack landed. There, he immediately ran there. The Bull King landed right where he was. It stomped the ground, causing everything around to shatter. A huge explosion occurred. Everyone shouted in worry, Your Majesty. Big looked toward where the Bull King attacked, filled with anxiety. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. The Bull King stomped again. It quickly turned toward them. They screamed, It's coming. What do we do? Someone shouted, Don't back down. Prepare to fight. Hoang Thatch yelled, Even if we die, we must jab a stick into its eye. Suddenly, from inside the mountain, an axe flew straight toward its eye, injuring it. Only then did it halt. It turned its head toward the inside. From within, he crawled out and mocked. Gotta thank you for that. Big guy, thanks to the crevices you made, I was able to hide at the critical moment. Immediately, he summoned his axe back to his hand. In his heart, he sighed, Even so, I'm still pretty badly injured. Everyone cheered loudly. Your Majesty. Your Majesty. He immediately called out to Stonebone. Stonebone. Stonebone shouted back. Yes, he shouted loudly. Follow my orders in a bit. He immediately charged toward the Bull King, shouting, Kill. Bone Club and Hoang Thatch followed him in attack. Over here. Attack. Hoang Thatch leapt toward its head and swung his spear. But he was immediately pierced in the abdomen. He cried out in pain. Bone Club from below threw a spear straight into its palm, causing it to cry out in pain. Seizing the chance, Luke Dang rushed in and stabbed its leg with a spear. He shouted, Die, die. It reached out to grab Luke Dang. It quickly caught him. Above, seeing this, Hoang Thatch also jumped up and shouted, Your Majesty. He shouted loudly. I'm coming. He kicked hard into its cheek, causing it to cry out in pain. But it didn't stop its attack. It quickly gathered energy into its mouth. It shot straight at him. But he dodged again. The energy blast suddenly flew toward Big Big. He jumped in front of her and shouted, "So noisy. This damn bull." He swung his axe into its shoulder, making it stop its attack. He tried to cut through its shoulder. He used all his strength to land another powerful strike, making it cry out in pain. While it was injured at the shoulder, he ordered, "A good opportunity. Stonebone, Akun, now's the time." Stonebone shouted, "Aim for the wound." Akun quickly threw spears at it. He shouted, "Charge." Each spear hit directly into the wound on its shoulder, making it cry out in pain. It quickly staggered and fell. Its giant body collapsed to the ground. Everyone froze, staring at it lying on the ground. Hoang Thatch turned to Bone Club and asked, "Did we win?" Above, Stonebone shouted, "We won, we won, long live the king." Ignoring everyone's cheers, he silently stared at its body. He had a feeling, something wasn't right. He glanced at the other black bulls and wondered, what are they still waiting for? A thunderclap rang out. Suddenly, the Bull King sat up. Its eyes were blood red as it stared at him. Only then did he realize and turn his head. Damn it. It punched him hard. It continued attacking the others. Then it glanced toward another direction. It quickly gathered energy and shot it toward Stonebone and Akun. His entire body was bleeding. He tried to sit up, panting heavily. He cursed in anger. Damn it, it was a trap. He stood up and looked at its massive body. It pulled the spears from its wound. It threw them straight at him. In his eyes, he saw the image of the spear flying straight toward him. He said to himself, "So this is the end? I'm not willing. Could it be that I Tran Lap must die here?" Suddenly, a figure ran in front of him. Big Big came to shield him. She was pierced through the chest by the spear. He stared blankly as she collapsed. His eyes froze. He saw her lying there, having taken the hit for him. Images of her from the past flashed through his mind. He became enraged. A powerful force enveloped him. His eyes turned deep red. He glared at it in fury. "You!" Suddenly, glowing characters appeared on his hand and axe. System alert. Warning. Unable to withstand newly emerged power. Warning. Warning. He roared. "Go to hell." He swung his axe straight at it, a slash that cut through everything. The Bull King was cleaved in half and couldn't even cry out. In its eyes was nothing but fear. He cleaved the Minotaur King clean in half. Taking a few more steps forward, he shouted at the remaining black bulls, "Come on, who's next?" The creatures glanced at each other in fear. "Kill them all," he roared. The bulls let out a terrified cry and bolted. At that moment, his axe fell to the ground. He was so exhausted that the system issued a warning. "Warning. Your life force is weakening." A severe wound caused him to cough up blood. He dropped to his knees, his vision dimming. He struggled to look at those around him as the system kept repeating, "Warning. Your life force is weakening." Hoang Thatch rushed over to him in a panic. He turned to the side and called out weakly, "Die, die." His last words before losing consciousness were, "Take the bleeding stopper potion." Some time passed. Eventually, he opened his eyes. A duck leaned over him. Concerned, "My king, you're awake." He was surprised to see her. "A duck?" he mumbled. Then he looked around, confused. "Wait, is this a pigsty?" She shook her head. "No, your majesty. After the herd was driven off, we relocated. This is the new shelter we built for you. Please lie down a little longer. I'll go inform the others." Suddenly, he remembered something. Struggling to sit up, he said, "Wait." She paused. "Is there something you wish to tell me, my king?" he asked. "Die, how is Luke Dang? And the others?" She replied, "When we found Luke Dang, he was barely breathing, but his recovery was fast. He's been standing guard outside ever since he woke up. Dai was injured more seriously. But thanks to your miracle medicine, she'll be fine with some rest. Everyone else is currently safe." He let out a sigh of relief. "As long as everyone's safe, that's good." She added, 4 days have passed. Everyone's wounds have stabilized." He was shocked and grabbed her hand. 4 days? She nodded. "Yes, He opened his system menu and checked the quest log. "Damn it," he muttered. "There's no time to rest. I have to make use of every second." Nearby, a duck looked at him with concern. "My king always stares blankly at one spot like he's lost in thought." When he tried to move his shoulder, a jolt of intense pain shot through him. "Ah, that hurts." Worried, she said, "You need to rest, my king, right now. You still." He interrupted her. "This is no time to rest. Go summon Thatch Cot." Then he warned her, "Listen carefully. Only tell him that I've regained consciousness. Nothing more. I'll explain the rest later." She replied quickly. Yes, my king. She hurried off to find Thatch caught. Inside, he thought to himself, I no longer have the strength to fight or intimidate. If this secret gets out, it won't just be about failing the mission anymore. He opened the map. Thank goodness the tribe relocated here right after driving off the herd. We need to build fences immediately, then upgrade them to wooden walls. After that, we'll need to arrange farmland and livestock pens. A voice called out from outside. My king, Thatch caught is here. He responded. Stay outside and listen from there. From outside, Thatch caught shouted. My king, it's me, Thatch caught. He chuckled. I heard you're okay now. That's great news. I have a task for you. The king said. Yes, of course. Come closer. Listen carefully. Thatch caught leaned in, pressing his ear toward the door. Yes, no problem at all. My king, leave it to me. He took off running right after. The king reflected. No, still not enough. I can't afford the same kind of mistake we made during the bull hunt. This time, it must be flawless. No room for error. He called out. Luke Dang, I need you for something. Yes, sir. Go retrieve the head and hide of that Minotaur king. Make sure the hide is as intact as possible. Luke Dang gasped in surprise. The king handed him his axe. Luke Dang was stunned. This is the king's legendary weapon. He grinned. I swear I'll complete the task. From outside, a duck called out. My king, you really should rest now. He immediately refused. No. Then suddenly, he said, actually, I was about to call for you. There's no one else around, right? You may come in. She obeyed. Yes, my king. The moment she stepped inside, he told her, I sent them away because I need you for an extremely important secret mission. Calmly, she began to remove her dress. My king, I've been prepared for this for a long time. Seeing her undress, he panicked. You misunderstood. Put that back on, now. He coughed awkwardly. Anyway, she sat down, red-faced. Yes, I need you to act in a play with me. He said seriously. A play? She asked. He explained. I plan to send someone to negotiate with the forest tribe. The goal is to convince them to join us and follow my commands. But they have far more people than us. There's no way they'll agree. She said. Exactly why we need to show strength. Make them believe that joining us is the only smart option. He continued. There are 2 reasons I chose you. First, the forest tribe follows a matriarchal system. As a woman, you'll find it easier to connect. Second, you're the only one who knows how dire my condition truly is. He elaborated. That explosive strike nearly shattered my body. The ointment stopped things from getting worse, but I still need something stronger to recover. She looked at him, concerned, but she quickly understood. So, we must create a false image of strength to intimidate them. She nodded with resolve. Leave it to me. A duck knows what to do. I'll carry this burden. A duck and little Tam were walking together toward a destination. The boy said, a duck, we're almost there. Even though the jungle tribe doesn't like to fight. He warned her, I still think we shouldn't provoke them at a time like this. She nodded. Got it. Then she added confidently, just lead the way. Leave the rest to me. The boy pouted. The king is so unfair. He designed such a nice outfit for you. At that moment, a bush beside the road rustled. A duck and Tam emerged from the underbrush. The boy pointed. There, just over there. Before them, a group from the jungle tribe was bathing under a waterfall, laughing and playing in the water. A duck frowned. So annoying. She turned to him. You seem pretty familiar with this place. Huh? The boy gave an awkward laugh to deflect and pointed again. Look over there. That's the person we came for. Down below, under the waterfall, was a woman bathing, the jungle queen. A duck gasped. She's beautiful. The boy quickly warned. Don't let her looks fool you. I heard she's eaten a few of her suitors before. A duck imagined the queen devouring someone and shivered. Eat people? No way. The boy insisted. It's true. Suddenly, shadows appeared behind them. The queen's guards surrounded the two. Moments later, they were dragged before the queen. Your Majesty, said a guard. We caught 2 sneaky intruders. They kept yelling something about calling themselves Great Something and demanded to see you. The queen sat atop a throne-shaped stone. Little Tam objected. Great Something? It's Great Envoys. That's the title the king gave us. Then, the queen turned her eyes to a duck. A duck became uneasy under her gaze. Unsure what it meant, the queen said coldly. How vulgar. Keep the woman as a slave. Feed the man to the fish. His meat can be tonight's dinner. Little Tam screamed in panic. A duck, save me. But a duck suddenly spoke up. I thought the jungle queen would be someone with great vision and foresight. But now that I see you, this is disappointing. We were even planning to gift you some of the mountain beef we hunted. Looks like we'll have to offer it to the coastal tribe instead. The queen raised her whip. Wait, let them finish. She narrowed her eyes. Did you say mountain beef? A duck nodded. That's right, those large black bulls living near the northern river bend. The queen scoffed. So you came here hoping to ally with our jungle tribe to help you hunt the bulls? A duck looked unimpressed. Ally? If we needed your help to hunt them, how would that count as a gift? Don't underestimate us. Those bulls weren't even a challenge. We already owned that whole stretch of land. She stepped forward, facing the queen directly. The tribespeople didn't believe her. No way. Is she lying? Those bulls almost trampled us to death before. The queen stood up, warning. Do you know what happens to liars around here? A duck said confidently. Even the biggest one, the leader of the herd, was killed by our king. If you don't believe me, just come and see. A van stepped forward. Your Majesty, be careful. It could be a trap. A duck sneered. A trap? You should know. Our merciful king could have destroyed your entire tribe if he wanted. Instead, he's offering you a gift. Tam chimed in. That's right. Not only is he not attacking, but he's giving you meat as a token of goodwill. Why be suspicious? A duck leaned closer to the queen and taunted. Of course, if the jungle queen is too scared to come herself, you could always send someone else to fetch the beef. The queen raised her whip to a duke's face and growled. You'd better not be playing any tricks. Soon, the jungle tribe was following the two back to their camp. Little Tam pointed ahead. We're almost there. He waved his arms excitedly. We're back. Thatch Cot walked over. Stop yelling and go help build the houses. The king's waiting across the river. Tam saluted. Yes, sir. A van asked the queen. Your Majesty, what does building houses mean? A duck stepped forward. We've arrived. She turned toward the king's tent. Your Majesty, she's here. The king was seated on a throne made of bones inside a large tent. The queen could feel the intense killing intent emanating from the tent. She muttered, that man, he feels like some kind of prehistoric monster. His blood-red eyes stared straight ahead. He spoke, you've done well. Suddenly, a noise came from the next tent. Inside, Dai Dai had silenced Hoang Thatch. Luke Dang hissed. The king told us injured ones to hide so we wouldn't be noticed. Can't you be more careful? Hoang Thatch whispered. I just wanted to see what the jungle queen looked like. The king's deadly gaze pierced through them. So, you're from the jungle tribe. A van stepped up. Where's the beef you spoke of? The king casually motioned to the left. Behind the tent. To the back left. Take as much as you can carry. Before them was a mountain of meat. They approached Kot Chui, who was busy chopping meat. He pointed without looking. Those over there are yours. Take whatever you want. One tribesman reached for a knife made of bone. The moment the blade touched the hide, it snapped in half. Kot Chui covered his mouth and chuckled. The jungle tribespeople were clearly offended. A van shouted, what's so funny? You just got lucky and caught the bulls during some skirmish. Didn't you? HMPH. Kot Chui casually picked up his axe. So what? Want to fight, old lady? Just then, the king threw his own axe from inside the tent. It whooshed past two people and sliced clean through a chunk of meat. The queen turned sharply toward the sound. What? There before them stood the king's axe, embedded deep in the ground. Everyone stood still, watching as his axe sliced through the piece of beef. The queen was extremely surprised upon seeing that. What kind of weapon is that? Our sturdy wooden branches and bone blades are no match at all. He calmly said, use my pangu axe to cut them some beef. Seeing the meat being sliced so easily left them all stunned. Kot Chui curiously asked, Your Majesty, they were the ones who provoked us first. Why must we? He shouted. Silence. Follow my order. He had no choice but to obey. He clicked his tongue. TCH. Lucky for you. He said calmly. I'll let you take this beef without any resistance. I keep my word. His eyes were deadly serious. She praised him. Quite elegant. Man, how did you conquer that herd of cattle? He replied. That depends on future development, whether it's mutual understanding or personal experience. As he spoke, his eyes lit up. That's enough for today. Jungle Queen, take your beef and you may leave. She snorted coldly. HMPH. Annoying, indifferent man, but in his heart, he was extremely anxious. Damn, I may have overacted earlier. If it weren't for this cowhide cloth, the wound might have already started bleeding. Drops of blood began to fall. He felt it, it was no good. It's bleeding. Immediately, a duck stepped up to distract her. Taking the chance, he covered the blood. She said, oh right, we still have some spare stone axes we can gift to you. They may not be as magical as the king's axe, but they're enough to cut cowhide or beef. She stayed silent, listening, then she turned away bluntly. No need, that kind of weapon doesn't look elegant. It doesn't suit us. At the same time, she reminded him, "Man, we also have powerful weapons we haven't revealed yet. I hope we never have to use them on your people. You've done well." He remained silent, staring at her. She turned to her guards. "Take what belongs to us and return with me." A van responded, "Yes." A duck casually added, "If you don't have enough to eat, you can come take more. Other tribes will take some too. You're welcome anytime." She waved goodbye to them. After a while, they reached a farther place and stopped. She asked, "Have you investigated everything clearly?" As she spoke, several figures appeared. One of them knelt and said, "Your Majesty, we've found what they call houses under construction. Inside, there seem to be a few piglets. Sometimes we even hear pig sounds." The queen was shocked. "Pigs? They actually built such good shelters for pigs?" A fawn added, "What's more shocking is that they've mastered the power of fire." A van exclaimed, "No way." A fawn continued, "We saw with our own eyes, they created fire from air to grill beef." The queen couldn't believe it and shouted, "What?" Then she hesitated. She started to say something. The queen angrily demanded, "What is it? Don't waste time." A fawn explained seriously, "It's just, they only have about 10 people. Among them are children and an old man. I suspect they're hiding their actual population." The queen asked, "Why didn't you search more thoroughly?" A fawn answered, "Because the surrounding trees had been cut down. We couldn't expose ourselves in the open clearing, so we could only watch from the forest." At that moment, the queen calmly walked past them. After a short walk, she suddenly stopped. She drew her weapon and struck them repeatedly. She warned them, "If you dare make excuses again, it won't just be a beating." They immediately knelt down. "Thank you, Your Majesty, for not exiling us." Elsewhere, inside Tran Lap's tent, he raised his hand and sighed. A duck worriedly approached. "Your Majesty, your wound?" He nodded and replied, It's more stable now. This cowhide wrap has a strong healing effect. It should slowly repair the shattered wound." System notification. Talent activated. Rhetoric. A duck was overjoyed to hear that. "That's great, Your Majesty." He glanced at the notification and said, "As expected, rhetoric, a rare talent." She bashfully said, "Oh my, compared to that jungle queen. Clearly Your Majesty likes me more. Right?" He shouted, "Don't get the wrong idea." Then he ordered her, "Shush, the forest has ears. Go call out the people hiding inside. Once I stop the bleeding, help me back to continue recovering. You're in charge of cleaning the blood on the throne, don't leave a trace. I'll have Luke Dang guard the place. No one is allowed near." She nodded. Okay. She suddenly looked back and called him, "Your Majesty, you looked really cool just now." He was startled. His face turned red, so he turned away and said, "That's all for now." Just then, Enhok Tam ran over. Your Majesty, he exclaimed, "You're really amazing. They really did set up observation points around our base." He asked, "What about the task I gave you?" Enhok proudly replied, "Of course I completed it. I let them see what they should see, and made sure they couldn't see what they shouldn't." He sighed in relief, then praised, "Good job. You've worked hard these past few days." Enhok waved his hands, "Not hard at all. I'll go help Thatch Kot and the others build houses now." A duck asked, "Your Majesty, do you think the jungle tribe will really join us willingly?" He confidently said, "It's still too early to say. This is just the first half of the plan. When they come back next time, that's when we'll begin the second half." The boss lay on a bed made of dry grass. He looked at the system panel and sighed. So tired. He stared at the panel displaying the mission. Main quest. Settlement: assist the primitives in building shelters. Officially establish a tribe. Expand population to 50 members. Time limit: 11 days. Reading that, the boss exclaimed, 11 days? That little time? I won't even be healed by then. He opened his inventory. The system notified him. *Basic language proficiency. *Basic survival handbook. *Basic cooking book. He brought up the universal map to check his location. 2 more items popped up in the system. Small bag of salt. 1 portion of hemostatic medicine. Then another message appeared. Unread notification. Mountain cleaving axe auto upgraded right pointing arrow pangu axe. A massive axe appeared in front of him. Shocked, he shouted, "What the hell, my mountain cleaving axe?" He examined the axe closely. When did it become the pangu axe? He sat up, staring at the axe now outlined in red. This axe had evolved into a divine weapon. But this morning, when I gave it to Luke Dang, it didn't look like this. He reached out and summoned it. Appear. The axe landed in his hand. The system flashed again. Mythical weapon. Pangu axe element. Earth activation condition. Blood sacrifice hidden skill. Upon activating heaven splitting creation. It deals immense damage and drains the user's stamina. The destructive power scales with remaining stamina. He exclaimed. Oh? His eyes sharpened in thought. Blood sacrifice. Did I accidentally activate it when my blood dripped onto it during battle? He recalled blood from his arm trickling down the axe. He raised the axe and reread the system info. After activation, heaven-splitting creation drains stamina and causes damage based on what's left. He murmured. So, I have to time the use precisely. Not too early, not too late. Otherwise, he glanced at the fading scar on his arm. It'll be worse than just an arm wound. He sighed. Phew. Holding the axe, he mumbled. I didn't expect weapons could evolve. Stroking his chin, he thought, I wonder if other weapons or tools also have hidden traits or abilities. He placed the axe beside him. Forget it, the activation seems random anyway. I'll just leave it to fate. This axe alone nearly killed me. Then he shifted focus. Let's check the rest of the items. He looked at a green vial. The only really useful thing right now is this hemostatic medicine. Too bad there's only one dose left. I have to save it for an emergency. He daydreamed about charging out with the axe, smashing all the nearby creatures. Let's see who dares to oppose me. Then he remembered the group he'd met before. The beef they took last time should be enough for about 30 people for 2 days. The system issued a countdown. Mission time remaining, 11 days. The boss spoke. Time's short. We'll have to rely on the hunter for now. He called outside. Luke Dang, bring the hunter. I have a secret mission for him. Yes, my king, came the reply. Under the scorching sun, Luke Dang led a small figure over. The hunter ran over and waved. King. The boy knelt at the entrance. The hunter has arrived, sir. The boss stood and said. Remember those black bulls we drove away? The hunter nodded attentively. I'm giving you 2 days to track them down. Report back once you find them. Leave it to me. The boy dashed off. The boss sat back down. Lately, everyone's contributed a lot. He pondered. Maybe I should use these 2 days to prepare a little gift for everyone. Time passed. The hunter remained diligent. The countdown ticked. Day 11 right pointing arrow, day 10 right pointing arrow, day 9. The boss was holding a carving knife. Crafting something. He checked the mission again. Main quest. Settlement, build shelters for the primitives. Expand population to 50. Time limit. 9 days. He exhaled. Phew, that's enough for today. Items floated in midair. Asterisk spearhead. Asterisk bone whistle. Asterisk water bottle. System notifications. Asterisk crafted stone spearhead, right pointing arrow +1 tech point. Asterisk crafted bone whistle, right pointing arrow +1 tech point. Asterisk crafted water bottle, made from bullhorn, right pointing arrow +1 tech point. The boss imagined Stonebone and the other 2 guardians. I'll give the bone whistle to Stonebone. It'll help him command during hunts or battles. He remembered a stone spearhead splitting a rock in 2. This spearhead can increase the wooden spear's damage. Might help if we have to fight the forest tribe. Then he pictured the scout sprinting with a spear in one hand. Reporting intel. He thought, the water bottle will go to the hunter. He'll love it. Suddenly, he heard voices outside. King, good news. Oh, he replied. A duck queen said excitedly. King, we've finished building the house. He nodded. Ahem, calm down. Show me. She handed him a cloak. Your health isn't great. Please wear this. The boss smiled, walking over to put it on. A duck blushed. Let me help you. You've worked so hard, leave the little things to me. He chuckled, scratching his head. Ahem, thanks. A duck. The 2 walked out of the camp happily. Alright, let's go have a look. He said. Of course, your majesty. Huang Thatch and Stonebone were already there. We brought the king. Stonebone announced gleefully. King, look, this is the house we built following your instructions. The boss looked surprised. Oh, please, take a look. The house was indescribable. Built with straw and wood, topped with an enormous horn. Stonebone raised his arm proudly. Looks great, right? The boss forced a smile. It's decent. Everyone cheered. We finally have a house. Lang Bone Club cried. No more caves or branch piles. Huang Thatch added. Pig pens are for pigs. This is our house, said Black Boar Horn. The boss muttered under his breath. You all didn't say that earlier? Stonebone lifted the straw door dramatically. And now we shut the door. Done. System notification. Wooden house constructed +10 tech points stamina, 2 strength, 3 agility, 2 fame, 0 tech, 27 territory, none. The boss frowned. Building a house gives the same score as starting a fire? Cold sweat formed on his brow. Thinking about it, they've changed a lot since I arrived. He glanced at Stonebone and Boarhorn playing around. At first, they were savages, eating raw meat like beasts. Now, they're developing humanity and intelligence. He thought of Stonebone charging with the axe. Like accelerated evolution? He turned to a duck. Let me know immediately when the hunter returns. Yes, King, he continued. Let's go back for now. Everyone should keep building houses. We'll have more people joining us soon. Suddenly a voice shouted from the front where Luke Dang and the boss stood. King, we found them. The scout leapt with joy. I found them. The king walked up to the panting boy. Well done, scout. He placed a hand on his shoulder. We can now proceed with the second half of the plan. No time to waste. Follow me. Yes, my king. He turned to the playful Stonebone and Boarhorn. Stonebone, over here. It's your turn. The group gathered. The king glanced sideways. Here's the plan. Any questions? Stonebone asked the hunter. Will this really work? It sounds kinda crazy. The scout pointed at himself confidently. Don't worry. I've got this. Just bring your team when I signal. The king handed him the bone whistle. Take this. Use it to issue commands. Stonebone grinned. Thank you, king. He blew the whistle with great excitement. The boss turned to the scout. You'll get a gift too, after you complete your mission. Long live the king, the boy shouted. The boss smirked. Remember, once you get my signal, carry out the plan immediately. Tranlap waved at everyone and let out a sigh. With just this many people, we're basically throwing eggs at rocks. He thought to himself. There wasn't much choice now, he had to assign tasks to the injured. Turning to the others, he spoke to a duck. Tell Dai, Hoang Thatch, and the others to stack up some wood for a fire in front of the wooden house. But don't light it yet. A duck raised an eyebrow. You're preparing for some visitors, right? Tranlap nodded. Yeah, still uneasy. Tranlap thought ahead. I have to see whether the bait I dropped 2 days ago will hook a big enough catch. At that moment, a group of people approached the tribe. Cao Cao spotted them and gasped in surprise. Huh? So many people? That's the jungle tribe. She turned pale and bolted off. Bad news. Bad news. The jungle tribe is here. Inside the royal hall, a duck was carefully treating Hoang Thatch's wounds. Your Majesty, she said, the wound's healing well, but he still doesn't have the strength to move. Tranlap gave an approving smile. He leaned back, satisfied. Ah, being served like this feels great. Once I subdue the jungle tribe, hey, I'll have 2 beauties by my side. He chuckled to himself, lost in fantasy. Suddenly, loud banging came from the door, along with shouting. Let me in, the jungle tribe is attacking. Tranlap grinned at a duck. Finally, the fish took the bait. Bring them in to see me. When the guests were brought in, a duck stepped forward and greeted their leader. It's been a while, Your Majesty. You're looking even more radiant than last time. She gestured with her hand. Please, this way. Our king is already waiting for you inside the palace. Tiu Lone looked puzzled. A palace? She hesitated. Last time, this place was just a shack made of straw and cowhide. How the heck did they build this wooden house so quickly? She scoffed. What, is your king so afraid of me he won't come out and greet me himself? She shot a mocking glance at a duck. Don't worry, we won't stay long, just here to collect a bit more meat than usual. Her tribe advanced in unison. Tiu Lone smiled wryly. My people just happened to want to meet our dear neighbors too. So, we brought a few extra folks along. I hope we're not scaring you. A duck let out a confident laugh. Our king ordered us to prepare beef for 40 people. You're welcome to help yourselves. She covered her mouth, amused. But you don't seem to have 40 people here. Tiu Lone smirked provocatively. What's this? Someone from my tribe switched sides and now serves you. You, come serve me instead. What do you say? A duck chuckled nervously. Ah, I was already won over by our king's strength. But thank you for the kind offer. She turned to the meat pile. The beef is over there. If there's any too big to carry, feel free to eat it on the spot. That's the king's order. She gave Tiu Lone a cheeky grin. If you're having trouble cutting it, our warriors would be happy to help. Tiu Lone replied coldly. No need. She glanced at her followers. You heard me. Avan responded promptly. Yes, Your Majesty. A duck stepped aside and gestured politely. Please, come in. Tiu Lone stepped into the royal hall in silence. Tranlap stood and greeted her with a smile. Welcome, Queen of the Jungle. Tiu Lone glanced around, a bit embarrassed. Quite the setup you've got here. Not bad. She turned to him and asked. This is your so-called palace? Her eyes swept over the interior. It's actually decent. Tranlap beamed. Seems like she's really interested in building techniques. Maybe I can lure her in further. He replied modestly. It's just a temporary royal hall. Once the real palace is built, this place will become housing for our tribe members. Tiu Lone raised an eyebrow. You're letting your own people live in something like this? Tran Lap nodded. Yeah, it's a bit simple. They'll get proper stone houses later. Suddenly, the queen's expression darkened. She placed a foot on his shoulder and whipped out her stone dagger. Tran Lap flinched, too slow to react, bound before he could escape. I'm screwed. He panicked. She's going to assassinate me? She pressed the blade close to his face. No one understands men better than I do. I've got plenty of ways to make you hand over those rare treasures willingly. She grinned triumphantly. Now I've got this brat right where I want him. Tran Lap, on the other hand, had a completely different thought. Bare feet, so stimulating. He teased her with a smirk. You think this is enough to make me obey? You really think I didn't leave myself an escape route? Truthfully, he was crying inside. It's over. I didn't leave any escape. I messed up big time. I'm injured. I couldn't win even before. How am I supposed to bluff my way out now? Luckily, at that moment, a duck walked in. Your Majesty, everything's ready. The feast can begin. The queen gasped and stepped back, lowering her whip. Your king was. Tran Lap coughed. Ahem, looks like our little chat is over. Time to enjoy some grilled meat. He turned to a duck. You started the bonfire? Yes, Your Majesty. The queen was puzzled. Even after all that intimidation, he's still acting calm? Does he really have a backup plan? Or is he just not afraid of dying? She glanced at him again. Compared to those weaklings back home, this one really is different. The three of them headed out to the campfire. The queen saw her tribespeople already happily roasting meat. Your Majesty, over here, the meat's done. Tran Lap handed a bag of salt to a duck. Distribute some to everyone. A duck held it up with reverence. A treasure that enhances flavor. As you wish, Your Majesty. She began sprinkling it over the meat. Just a little. It'll make it taste much better. The jungle tribe members took some and thanked her. The queen shouted, Hey, what are you putting on that? A duck replied casually, If you're worried, Your Majesty, you don't have to eat it. After tasting it, the people cried out in amazement. This is divine. I could eat 10 more pieces. The queen frowned. Huh, curious. She tried a bite. Tran Lap grinned. Eat as much as you want. The longer this lasts, the better it is for the hunters and thatch caught. The queen closed her eyes, savoring. Delicious. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, a group of hunters lay in ambush near a herd of black cattle. Hack True Jock whispered, Didn't we still have beef left? Why are we hunting more? Thatch Cot rolled his eyes. You don't get it. We're not just here to hunt this time. We're targeting something else entirely. He gave a command. Just follow my lead. Hack True Jock nodded. He looked toward the palace and saw a signal from Tran Lap. The king's given the signal. Thatch Cot blew a whistle. On cue, everyone hurled their weapons at the herd. The black cattle cried out in pain. Hunters, Thatch Cot shouted. The herd is headed your way. You only get one shot. Go for the new leader. A hunter called back. Don't worry, I've got him. With that, the boy leapt down from a tree and plunged his spear into the back of the lead bull. He let out a triumphant laugh. Ha ha, I did it. This one's mine. The black cattle herd charged forward in a fury. The young hunter screamed in fear. Don't be scared. I can do this. He shouted at the herd. You're not even close to being scary. Even your former leader was nothing but a kitten to us. The new lead bull slammed into a tree trunk, then kept running. From a distance, a Khan shouted, This is bad. They're veering east. Thatch Cot quickly replied, I'll signal him right away, and began blowing his whistle. The young hunter realized he was heading in the wrong direction. Wrong way? Then hell. Let's go right, he yelled. A message popped up. Skill. Beast taming. Activated. The black cattle herd shifted to the right and charged on. Back at the royal camp, everyone was still enjoying the feast. Just one more bite. The jungle queen ate as she cried. If I eat any more, I'll get fat, but it's just too good, hoo-hoo. Tran Lap watched in silence. Speechless, he turned his gaze toward the forest, thinking, they should be arriving any minute now. Suddenly, a van came running from the distance, shouting, Your Majesty, that's one of the guards we left behind. A van said. The queen stopped eating and turned. The man stumbled, falling at her feet. She stared coldly at him. What's with the panic? Speak. There's a herd of black cattle, gone berserk. They're rampaging through our camp. The guards couldn't stop them. The queen's face turned serious. Everyone, we're heading back now. Move it. I'll make those beasts pay. She was furious. Damn it. We never interfered with each other. Why now? What happened? This is real trouble. At the jungle tribe's camp, chaos had broken out. Run. Watch out. The black cattle were destroying everything in their path. Climb the trees. Throw stones at them. Tribe members used slingshots and pelted the cattle with stones. but the rocks shattered on impact. Damn it, their hides too thick. Close combat team, get ready. Save the wounded. Warriors leapt down to attack head-on. For the queen. The black cattle kicked and tossed the warriors aside. One bull raised its hoof and punched toward a fawn. No. Suddenly, a rope snapped around the bull's leg. Pulling it back, a fawn looked at the rope and shouted, "It's Her Majesty. The queen is back." The queen yanked hard on the rope. "You won't harm my people. You mad beast. Your opponent is me." With that, she threw the bull into the air, spinning it before slamming it down. The black bull wheezed angrily. Charging again, she dodged, barely. But it wasn't fast enough. The bull rammed her, sending her flying. She coughed up blood. Tran Lap caught her just in time. "Are you okay?" "I'll live," she said weakly. He helped her stand. "Rest. Let us handle it." The queen asked, Why did these monsters suddenly go berserk and attack us?" The hunting party and Thatch Cot were all looking very guilty. Tran Lap narrowed his eyes. "You damned beast. Forget your scars already?" He stepped forward, locking eyes with the lead bull. The bull roared. Tran Lap panicked. "What? It doesn't recognize me? My black leather bullhide coat isn't scaring it?" The bull suddenly backed off. Frightened, he exhaled. "Phew, good. The bluff worked." Raising the Pengu axe, Tran Lap said, Well, we meet again. Got yourself a new king already? Looks way weaker than the last one." The bull trembled. "Now that you're here, stay. None of you are leaving." With that, the hunters and Thatch Cot charged. "Hunter, the lead bull," Thatch Cot shouted. The young hunter used Thatch Cot's support to leap toward the bull's head. Grabbing its horns, beast taming skill activated. The others closed in, readying their weapons. Tran Lap turned to the queen. "Let's go." But she refused. "They're not scattered yet. I want to fight." He stopped her. "No, don't. Let me go. We can't beat them all. You didn't bring many people. Don't throw your life away." The queen fell silent, bitter. Tran Lap added, "How about retreating to my place for now? Rest, recover. When the time is right, you can come back and take your land." He promised, "You'll have homes, food, and safety. I'll take care of all of you. Look at your people," he said gently. "They're in no condition to fight." A duck looked at the queen. Frightened, "Are you going to just watch them die for nothing?" The queen clenched her fists. Then shouted, "Jungle tribe, take the wounded. We retreat north, now." A van shouted, "Everyone, retreat." She turned to coordinate the group. "Move faster. The injured go first." Tran Lap instructed a duck. "Take care of the queen. Lead everyone back to the camp and rest. I'll stay behind with Thatch Cot's team to hold them off in buy time." A duck nodded. "Your Majesty, please stay safe." The enraged black bulls charged toward Thatch Cot's group. Suddenly, a van and her group dashed forward to face the herd. "Sisters, gather your courage. We had to take them down." Thatch Cot tried to stop them. "Hey, these monsters were already defeated by us. If you're scared, you should retreat with the others." But Avan's group pressed on without hesitation. Tran Lap laughed. "They're brave. Thatch Cot, let's not get left behind." Thatch Cot grinned. "Brothers, fight." As the sun set, the others had made it back to the palace. Cao Cao helped them in. "You're back. Where's the king?" A duck replied gloomily. "The king and Thatch Cot's team stayed to hold them off. Many are injured here. We need rest." Cao Cao pointed behind her. "Go over there. There should be enough huts for everyone." Thank goodness Dai Dai and the others endured their wounds to finish building them. She turned to the jungle tribe members. "All right, those who aren't injured, come with me to gather food and water." The jungle tribe responded, "Thank you, we'll help you." A duck led them to the straw huts. "We'll have to make do for now. Food and safety will be guaranteed." "Don't worry." The queen nodded silently. A duck closed the door gently. "I'll take care of the others too. Please focus on recovering, Your Majesty." The queen softly replied, "Thank you." A duck sighed in relief. Things were going smoothly. She recalled the king's words. The core goal of this whole plan is to win over the jungle tribe at the lowest possible cost. After all, they had just endured a fierce battle and couldn't afford more losses. She smiled to herself. No wonder he's the king. Every step is calculated perfectly. Now, only one final step remained. The next morning, everyone was up and about. Dai Dai asked Lang Kot Chui. "Nothing happened last night, right?" Still yawning, he replied, "Nope, I kept watch the whole time. All clear." A shadow passed over a van, and she glanced up. It's cloudy now." Dai Dai greeted her. "Good morning." Startled, she shouted, "Damn it, what are you up to?" Dai Dai replied, "Our king invites the queen to the palace. It seems he has something important to discuss with her directly." Avan hesitated. Sure? Inside the palace, a system prompt appeared in front of Tran Lap. Main quest countdown. 8 days remaining. He frowned. Only 8 days. The time's running out. Outside, footsteps echoed. A duck entered, bringing the queen with her. The queen stepped forward. She told me about your proposal to merge the tribes. She glared at him. My answer is, keep dreaming. Her hand moved to her whip. Don't think you can take advantage of our temporary weakness to threaten me. Tran Lap stood. It's not a threat. It's a deal. I can teach your people how to build homes, he said as he unsheathed his weapon. Weapon crafting, fire making. In exchange, the jungle tribe must join ours. Accept our protection and our leadership. He approached her. There are some things that bravery alone can't solve. The cruelty of the Bay tribe. The brutality of the Stone tribe. You know this better than I do. He pressed on. Right now, your tribe is like a wounded fawn. The blood trail will draw predators. And when they come, they'll rip you apart. Enough, the queen shouted. It's not that simple. I can't force my people to accept the rule of a stranger. Unless? Tran Lap asked. She gave him a look. Unless we settle this with a battle. And you win. Only then will they accept you. Do you accept the challenge? Tran Lap smiled confidently. I do. Both stepped out of the palace. They summoned everyone to announce the duel. Tran Lap said, since your queen is wounded and can't fight. To be fair, I won't enter the battle myself. He turned to Thatch Cot. You'll represent us. Thatch Cot cheered. Haha. Alright then, who will you send? Avan stepped forward. I am Avan. I accept your challenge. Without waiting, she charged forward, weapon in hand. Thatch Cot blinked in surprise. Oh, the girl with the braids. He sneered. Better be careful, or you'll get hurt. Avan snapped back. Talk too much and the hawk will peck your eyes out. He lunged at her. Then I'll roast that hawk. Take this. Avan dodged and hurled a bone knife at him. Thatch Cot scoffed. Ha, just a bone blade? But then, he noticed Tran Lap still behind him. If I dodge, he'll hit the king. You little, trying to trick me. Instead of dodging, he charged straight into the blade. Still, he growled. Not enough. The second blade struck the bone crest on his forehead, cracking it wide open. Furious, he swung his hammer down at Avan. Out of moves? Then die. Suddenly, from the jungle tribe's side, someone flung a knife, striking Thatch Cot in the face. Stopping his attack. Someone's interfering? Who the hell can fight like this? Seizing the chance, Avan darted toward Tran Lap, shouting, kill. Avan charged forward furiously, wielding a dagger in each hand, aiming straight for the king. From atop a nearby rooftop, a Khan hurled his spear toward her to protect his leader. The king stood still, unflinching, his gaze calm and fearless. Tiu Lone looked on with visible worry. The spear flew straight and true, striking Avan before she could reach her target. Her body crumpled to the ground, blood seeping from the grievous wound. A fawn rushed to her side in a panic, eyes burning with rage. She raised her dagger and shouted, You planned this, didn't you? This was all a trap. She pointed her blade at the king. Tension instantly thickened in the air. The surrounding warriors tensed, weapons ready. Your Majesty, say the word, one of them called out. Their glares turned toward the king's group, full of fury. Kill them. Seeing the chaos unfold, a duck called out, Your Majesty. The king wiped a bead of sweat from his forehead. Damn it, this wasn't in the plan. An assassination attempt? Was this ordered by the queen? Or someone acting on their own? His eyes narrowed. Suspicious. If it's the queen behind this. He swiftly moved behind her, one hand clamping over her mouth, the other pressing an axe to her neck. Then I'll just have to take her hostage. But instead, the queen stepped forward and ordered sharply. Enough, all of you. Stand down. Her voice cut through the chaos. Everyone froze. She addressed her followers coldly. You really thought I wouldn't see through that pathetic stunt? Using such a dishonorable method against those who have aided us. Shameful. The entire hall fell silent, hanging on to her words. I won't bother finding out who participated in the ambush. She continued, her voice steady but sorrowful. Because, today's battle, we have lost. A fawn lowered her head, her face full of grief. The queen turned to the king. Avan was the most outstanding warrior of the jungle tribe. She was proud, arrogant. Even if it weren't for me, she would never have lowered herself like this. Her expression softened. I know your power. You summon miracles. She knelt before him. Please, for her loyalty and courage, save her. The king looked down at her. So it wasn't a full-blown betrayal. Thank goodness it didn't end in disaster. He. Control of the situation is back in my hands now. He thought about the last remaining vial of life-saving medicine in his inventory. Only one left. The king extended a hand to her. It's fine. I'll save her. She grasped his hand. Thank you, my friend. A Thong, kneeling beside Avan, pleaded, please, hurry, she doesn't have much time. The king knelt by Avan's side. Focusing his inner energy, a strange green light began to glow in his palm. Still, she should be punished a little for that stunt. Can't let her bounce around like nothing happened. He poured just enough of the medicine to stabilize her. The rest I'll use to treat my own injuries later. The potion took effect, and Avan opened her eyes slowly. Weak but alive, the king turned to Tiu Lone and the others. Take her to rest, she should wake up fully in a few days. A Thong stared in shock. This is. Suddenly, all the tribespeople dropped to their knees, bowing in unison. A miracle, a miracle, a miracle. As they chanted, the king casually placed a hand on the queen's shoulder and pulled Tiu Lone closer. I suppose now, you'll allow your people to merge into my tribe? Yes? Tiu Lone blushed and nodded. The king grinned in satisfaction. The queen, still leaning into him, whispered shyly, you may continue to lead your original tribe, as long as you follow my orders. She glanced away for a moment, then turned back with a gentle yet serious tone. But, I have one last request. The king raised an eyebrow. Last request? Tiu Lone looked into his eyes. You must officially become my life partner. We'll hold a grand ceremony to seal our bond. The king's heart nearly leapt from his chest. Is she serious? This is like being served a feast in bed. He began imagining, carrying the queen in his arms, placing a ring on her hand, the two of them celebrating under moonlight. Then their child, a chubby, cheerful little girl, laughing, running around, growing up under their care. He pictured her wedding, and then the two of them growing old together, hands still intertwined, even in death. Tears welled in his eyes. So beautiful, so touching? Tiu Lone blinked. What's wrong? You don't want to marry me? The king suddenly hugged her tight. I do. Of course I do. He gently brushed her hair aside. But, I hope you can heal first. That'll also give me time to prepare the ceremony. She whispered softly. Okay. They both turned to address the crowd. Everyone, dismiss, tend to the wounded. In a few days, we'll gather again for our bonding ceremony. The people shouted in unison. Yes. A system message popped up in front of the king. You have officially founded your own faction. Please name your faction. He stroked his chin. Population, 46? Still 4 people short? His face twitched. Tiu Lone noticed his sour expression. Forget it, let's name the faction first. New faction name. The Rookie Tribe faction created successfully. You are now chief of the Rookie Tribe. Expand your population to complete the settlement quest. The king thought to himself. Still need 4 more people. Might have to snag a few from the Seaside Tribe. He recalled the fearsome beast they'd fought earlier. Now that my wounds are healed, maybe I'll capture a few prisoners myself. He sighed. But do prisoners even count as population? Behind him, a villager gently urged. Come, my queen. Tiu Lone answered cheerfully. All right. As the king stood there lost in thought, covering his face, he overheard 2 villagers whispering nearby. He looked so happy earlier. I thought he'd gone mad. Right? But now he looks like a man doomed, much more fitting. He leaned in to eavesdrop. After all, he'll probably end up like the queen's previous partners, chopped into pieces during the ceremony. His eyes widened in terror. Images flashed through his mind. Tiu Lone wielding twin blades, her tongue licking her lips, eyes gleaming with hunger, fire crackling in the background. She grinned wide, and then, she ate them, bite by bite. The queen was biting into the shirt that the chief had just hung up. He looked terrified. Queen, do you eat men? The chief's mind wandered for a moment, imagining some ominous scene. He glanced toward 2 women nearby, both looking quite intimidating. So this is why there are so few men in their tribe. Suddenly, a shadow loomed behind him. Sweat beaded down his temple as he grew increasingly anxious. Then came a voice behind him. Chief. Startled out of his skin, he jumped and screamed. Ah, don't eat me. From behind him, Dai looked confused. It's just me, Chief. The chief coughed awkwardly. Ahem. Dai, what brings you here? Looking up at him with sparkly eyes, she asked. Chief, are you really planning to marry that violent woman? The chief tilted his head back in thought. Ah, about that, maybe I need to give it some more thought. Thinking of the chief embracing the queen, Dai added, but I heard you were planning some kind of ceremony? The chief froze again, vividly imagining the queen chomping down on someone. He replied hastily, that was a bit rushed. Dai patted him on the shoulder. Why? The chief muttered, I thought she was a bride, turns out she's a mantis. Delighted, Dai picked him up. Wonderful. The chief's face was full of despair. What a twisted world. Just then, a duck approached and called out, "Dai Dai." Turning around, Dai Dai saw her and said, "I just wanted to be near the chief." The chief looked completely exhausted. "I just want some peace and quiet." "Alright, a duck. Tell the others they don't have to keep hiding. Have them help build the camp." As a duck left, dragging Dai Dai along, she said, "Fine, I'll go notify them." Before leaving, Dai Dai looked back with teary eyes and said, "Chief, please think about it carefully. Consider me, okay?" A duck, clearly annoyed, added, "Aren't you afraid you'll crush the chief just by sitting down? Let's go, we've got a lot to do." Once they were gone, the chief sighed and muttered, "I need to find a chance to talk to her about calling off this engagement." The next day, the sun had just peeked over the horizon. A rooster perched on a branch crowed loudly. The chief stepped out of his hut, stretched, and yawned. Suddenly, he spotted villagers working together, hauling supplies and building homes. Curious, he opened his map and smiled. Looks like everyone's getting along. Even the newcomers are helping with construction. But then he frowned. No, I need to go find her and cancel the engagement. He made his way to a cluster of temporary huts made from grass, the shelter of the jungle tribe. As he walked cheerfully through the area, villagers greeted him. "Good morning, Chief." Another added, "Chief." He waved back. Don't mind me. Just go about your work." One villager approached. "Chief, are you here to see the queen? She's by the river in the north." Then cheerfully added, "Come, I'll take you." They arrived at a quiet bend of the river, where the queen was bathing with 2 attendants nearby. "Over there, that's her." The villager pointed. "Oh, I see, he replied. Then one of the attendants by the river called out, "Queen, the chief is here." The queen responded nonchalantly, "You too, leave us." The attendant stepped out of the water, walking past the chief. "Good morning, Chief." "Morning," he replied politely, still soaking in the river. The queen looked at him. "Yo, isn't this our dear chief?" Her bare shoulders glistened under the sunlight as she looked up. "So, did something important bring you here?" Standing on the bank, he waved his hands. No, I just came to check on your injury." Smirking, she said, "It's nothing serious. I'll be fine after a couple days rest." Then, her tone turned ominously playful. "Well, should I come ashore so you can personally inspect me? Or maybe, you want to taste first?" The chief turned pale and frantically waved his hands. No need, trying to keep it light. He changed the topic. "By the way, I don't think I ever got your name." "Oh, so that's what this is about," she said, glancing at him with a coy smile, half submerged in the water. Brushing her wet hair back, she added, "Call me Tiu Lone." "Tiu Lone?" he repeated, puzzled. "That name, it was given to me by the previous queen," she said calmly. The chief squatted down, holding his head, tears flowing. "If it's not being eaten, it's exile. You people should rename your tribe to mystical mantises." Nearby, an actual mantis was nibbling a tiny bug on a branch. The chief pressed on. "So, did the previous queen have a husband? Or, partners?" Tiu Lone smiled gently. "They were all eaten. It's tradition. A queen gains more power by consuming her mate." The chief's face turned into a mask of sheer terror. Dear God, how can someone say something that horrifying with such a pretty face? "But," she continued cheerfully, "that's an old tradition. I have no intention of continuing it." "It's so uncultured." The chief asked carefully, "So you've never eaten anyone?" Tiu Lone replied coolly, "I've only just become queen. I've never had a mate. So no one's been eaten." Relieved, the chief exhaled loudly and said, "Great, well then, rest well, drink plenty of warm water. I'll go prepare for the ceremony." Ha ha ha. As he turned to leave, she called after him, "Oh, Chief Tilda." He smiled, touching his forehead in relief. "At least I won't get eaten. Now I just need to talk to Dai Dai." But then she added, "Although I won't eat you." The chief froze in his tracks. "If you ever betray me, I won't hesitate to cut off any unnecessary parts." At that moment, a loud whack echoed as a carrot was split in two. Cao Cao, holding a cleaver, remarked, "Veggies are so easy to cut today." Standing in front of his hut, the chief sighed deeply. Then a system notification popped up. Mission info. Main quest. Establish settlement, help the primitive tribe build homes. Officially form a new tribe. Expand the population to 50. Time limit, 7 days. "Alright," the chief muttered, "guess I need to go catch some prisoners to finish this quest." Just then, Thatch Cot passed by carrying a log. "Good morning, Chief." "Thatch Cot," the chief said, "I have a task for you." "Sure, go ahead. I'm heading out for a bit. While I'm gone, organize everyone's tasks. If anything urgent happens, send someone to find me at the southern beach." Got it. Scene shift. Southern beach. Rolling hills, blooming wildflowers, soft sand, and the endless sea, nature in harmony. The chief cursed loudly. Damn it. Corpses lay strewn across the shoreline. He looked shocked. Swarming flies buzzed above the bodies. What the hell happened here? Standing amid the trees, he frowned. The Bay tribe. He muttered again, disbelief in his voice. The Bay tribe, with bodies scattered across the coast. The chief uttered grimly. Wiped out? Completely? On the seashore, Tran Lap sat on a tree branch, watching the bodies of the Seabay tribe members lying on the sand. Several Doro birds perched atop the corpses, squawking loudly. The birds seemed to imagine themselves as the ones who had defeated the tribesmen. Suddenly, Tran Lap stepped forward and said, "Go play somewhere else," before kicking a few of the birds in the rear, making them squawk and fly off. Once they were gone, he approached the bodies and muttered, "Even Doro birds dare to strut around here now. This area might be temporarily safe." He ran his fingers over the claw marks on their backs. The bodies are still slightly pliable, no signs of decomposition. This battle must have ended not long ago. After carefully examining their hands and backs, he made his assessment. The claw marks on the middle 3 fingers, razor sharp. They're clearly not from foreign weapons. These wounds were made by their own kind. Brushing off his hands, he murmured, "Those lunatics living underwater, could this be some kind of internal conflict?" He stood up and scanned the surroundings. It'd be best if we could find a few survivors to take back. Just then, he spotted a figure stumbling in the shallow water. It was a corpse, but with no visible wounds. Tran Lap cautiously approached and examined it again. The twisted expression, the pain in their face, arms flailing, tangled in muck and weeds, classic signs of drowning. But the Seabay people are known to be excellent swimmers. How could one of them drown out here? Frowning in confusion, he murmured, "What on earth happened before this?" Suddenly, Tam came running up, panting and yelling, "King, bad news." Tran Lap turned quickly. "Tam, what are you doing here?" Tam kept running as he shouted, "Some crazed Seabay tribesmen are attacking our people." "What?" Tran Lap's face changed. Then he called out, "Let's go," and dashed after Tam. "Hurry!" By the riverbank, the people of the newborn tribe were already armed and bracing for combat against the Seabay attackers. They warned each other to stay focused and alert. Thatch Cot barked instructions. "Save your strength. Be ready for close combat." The Seabay attackers charged forward, completely ignoring the wooden spears that pierced their bodies. Blood flowed, but they kept advancing, as if pain didn't exist. "They're not even reacting to our weapons." Thatch Cot growled, "What's wrong with these lunatics?" Up in the trees, a Khan watched and said, "Something's seriously wrong. It's like they can't feel pain." As the Seabay warriors closed in, Thatch Cot shouted, "Stay calm. Don't let them drag you into the water. If they do, we're finished." Suddenly, the attackers surged forward with terrifying speed. "They're charging," someone shouted. "Watch out." Chaos erupted as both tribes clashed violently. Thatch Cot led the charge. "Their momentum is weakening. This is our chance. Push them back." Reinforcements from the Queen's forces arrived just in time. Tiu Lone stepped forward and asked, "What's going on? Are these really Seabay people? Aren't they supposed to be living on the southern shore? Why are they here? And why do they look so strange?" Thatch Cot replied grimly, "I don't know. They seemed possessed, crawled out of the southern river and started attacking us. Honestly, it might be more accurate to call them monsters." Tension rose as the tribes braced for a bloody confrontation. The crazed Seabay warriors charged again. Thatch Cot and the newborn tribe warriors readied their weapons and met them head-on. Amid the chaos, Tiu Lone lashed out with her whip, wrapping it around the neck of one attacker. "Hey, can you speak?" she yelled. Frowning, "No good. They don't even respond. You lunatic, what do you even want?" Suddenly, another attacker lunged from behind, trying to ambush her. Before he could strike, Tran Lap appeared. "Tiu Lone, get down." He delivered a blow that knocked the attacker backward. But Tran Lap narrowed his eyes. He took that hit. That was a full-force strike. "I've got 3 strength points." Just then, 2 more attackers rushed at him from behind. "Watch out!" Tiu Lone screamed. Before Tran Lap could react, Luke Dang and a Khan intercepted them, quickly taking both down. "We won't let anyone hurt our king," Luke Dang shouted fiercely. "Not until we've taken down every last one of you." Tran Lap grinned proudly. "Good job, you too. I'll leave these snarling fish freaks to you." He turned to Tiu Lone. "They need your help. I can handle this area myself, but I'll need to focus completely for what's coming next. Until this is settled, I can't afford any distractions. I'm counting on all of you." In the chaotic battle between the Newbie tribe and the Bay Shore tribe, The air was filled with war cries and howls. Kill them. Amid the chaos, only Tran Lap, who was facing off against Hack Thatch in the center of the battlefield, hadn't made a move yet. He raised his mountain-cleaving axe and spoke. I deeply regret what happened to your tribe. He tried to reason further. But that has nothing to do with us. Are you sure you found the right people to take revenge on? However, Hack Thatch didn't listen at all. He shouted, charging forward. Tran Lap clicked his tongue. So we can't even communicate anymore? Hack Thatch lunged at him. Luckily, Tran Lap quickly leapt away, narrowly dodging the attack. As he evaded the flurry of claws, he analyzed calmly. Such brute strength and fast reflexes. And those claws and sharp fangs. He compared himself to Hack Thatch. Even though I'm stronger than most people, I'm still just a rookie against a monster like this. Tran Lap also had to consider his surroundings. This area is full of my tribe's people. Banko's range of destruction is too large. There's no space to unleash it. And that power shouldn't be used lightly unless absolutely necessary. Just then, Hack Thatch lunged at him again. Tran Lap blocked with his mountain-cleaving axe. Damn it, I shouldn't let myself get distracted. In that moment, Hack Thatch bit into his arm while he was off guard. His sharp teeth pierced through the cloak and into Tran Lap's flesh. He screamed in pain. FK. Immediately, he swung his axe and hacked at Hack Thatch. The beast lifted his head, still biting onto the torn cloak. Tran Lap quickly pulled back, his left sleeve in tatters. After backing off a few steps, he felt a wave of relief. Damn it, thank God I had the Bull King cloak on. 4 puncture wounds now marred his left arm. Trembling from pain, if it weren't for the cloak, my entire arm might have been bitten off. Hack Thatch let out a raspy growl, sticking out his long tongue, swaying the blood-stained cloth. His eyes began to turn pitch black. Veins popped on his arms. This transformation caught Tran Lap's attention. Then, Hack Thatch suddenly threw his head back and howled. Before Tran Lap could react, he leapt at him with incredible speed. Too fast, Tran Lap thought, heart racing. He instinctively dropped to one knee and swore. *T. Hack Thatch missed him, but managed to grab the Bull King cloak instead. He tore it apart and began chewing it. Tran Lap tilted his head, confused. Why is he so much faster and stronger now? If I hadn't pulled off my cloak in time, I'd be the one being chewed on right now. With the torn cloth still in his mouth, Hack Thatch stood up. Tran Lap frowned. Why isn't he attacking anymore? What is he doing? Hack Thatch slowly walked toward the riverbank. A few Bay Shore tribe members followed him. Huh? They're running away? And they took a piece of my bloodied cloak with them too. He fell silent and observed the ongoing battles. His attention was suddenly drawn to Hack True Jock, who was surrounded by several Bay Shore warriors. Huh? Why is he being attacked by so many at once? Hack True Jock was gritting his teeth, fighting off multiple enemies alone, his body already covered in wounds. From afar, Tran Lap speculated. Wait, I get it now. It's the blood scent. He finally understood the Bay Shore warriors' abnormal behavior whenever they smelled blood. They were tracking targets by scent. That same smell drove them into a frenzy, more bloodthirsty and violent than ever. Especially in their strange current state, acting purely on primitive instinct. The behavior reminded him of a certain sea creature. They're like sharks. He knelt and applied healing leaves to his bite wounds, thinking, still, if I can use this trait to my advantage. Just then, the scout returned, Tam, the kid, holding a sharpened stick. King, I'm back. Need my help? Tran Lap patted his shoulder. Perfect timing. Take 2 others and bring me 3 pigs from the pen over there. Tam scratched his head. Pigs? Aren't those for food? Tran Lap slowly stood and said, stop yapping and just do what I say. Yes, sir, Tam replied, even as he gave the order. Tran Lap was grumbling inside. Damn it. Sacrificing 3 of our precious suckling pigs like this. That's a debt those lunatics are going to repay. He turned to Tiu Lan. Tell the wounded to retreat from battle. As far as possible. Got it, she replied. A moment later, Tam and 2 primitive girls ran over, each hugging a pig. King, pigs are here, he shouted. Tran Lap grabbed his axe and pointed to the river. Let them run toward the riverbank. The trio let go of the pigs. They squealed as they ran off. Tam cheered. Run, little piggies, run. Tran Lap raised his hand and called out. Akan, from a tall tree. Akan responded. Roger, watch this. He hurled 3 sharpened stakes, all of them landing on the pigs. They cried out in pain. The result was instant. The Bay Shore warriors all froze mid-battle. Hack Thatch and others in the river turned around and roared simultaneously. One by one, they charged toward the pigs. drooling with hunger. While they were busy devouring meat, Tran Lap shouted to his tribe, "Don't just stand there. Quickly apply anesthetic to your spears. Aim for non-vital spots and throw." The newbie tribe responded in unison. Understood. Suddenly, a Khan called out from above, "King, look, something's wrong." Tran Lap turned back. "What is it?" The Bay Shore warriors who had eaten the pigs were now clutching their necks. Groaning in agony, one by one, they collapsed to the ground, all overcome with pain. Tran Lap stared in stunned silence. He turned to Tam and asked, "Did you poison those pigs?" Tam frantically waved his hands. "No, absolutely not." Soon after, every last Bay Shore warrior passed out, foaming at the mouth. "Fall back," Tran Lap warned his tribe. "Don't get close. It might be a trap." He drew in a cold breath, watching them all lying unconscious on the ground. What in the world just happened?